How's everyone doing? Sorry, my hair is so frizzy. I was supposed to brush it, and I forgot my hairbrush, so I get frizz today. But anyway, hello. We're here, anti-animal use, all of us. I don't know if Cooper wants to hop in. Hey,
hello.
guys. So we're at the Pod Plaza one more time. We've got the TV right now. Pam holding the TV. Oh, Pam, I'm sorry. I just flashed you on there. I'm so sorry. I'll go back later and blur it. I'm so sorry. I did not respect her consent on that. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and make sure we're lined back up. Awesome. Okay, and I believe Nick said he's going to get started. We're anti-animal use. We're an abolitionist, vegan, animal rights activist group. We speak up for all sentient beings and specifically focus on other animals as they are experiencing a lot more atrocity and exploitation, and nobody's speaking up for them. So here we are. We're going to ask people what they think about being fair and if they're actually living in alignment with their own principles. So with that said, Anik, good to see you. Martin, Lambretta, hey guys, good to see you.
Oh, Rebecca will be here later.
Yeah, we got Rebecca coming later. And with that, I guess we're going to get started with grass-fed. We have some signs too. We put up our live signs so people can see that we are indeed live. See how long that lasts, I don't know. It's going to stay up.
Oh.
Yep, we've got the lines marked. Awesome. Actually, go ahead and stand there because they might have moved. Yep, I moved it. That's good. All right, there you go, grass-fed. Take it away.
All right.
I just want you to be aware of it too, so you don't know.
Rebecca's coming. She'll be here soon.
I'll keep an eye on
Kind of read the chat, wait for someone to...
Hello to all the vegans who are joining us. We're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's Bookstore. We're here to ask Portlanders about the fairness of using other animals when we don't need to, when we live in 2026 and have other options. It's a little chilly, but we're bundled up and ready to have some good conversations.
And we're right behind, or right in front of Shake Shack, ironically, so...
Yeah. Hello, Sabby. Anik says, they sound like a 2000s mom. Thank you to the vegans for being here. Your presence will be greatly appreciated as more trolls come in, and we need you to respond to them and keep the engagement going so that our live stream is shown to more folks and more people hear this message. Birds are so pretty. That bird has a mohawk.
Oh, it does.
Should I give him some crunchy edamame?
I don't know if it's good for them or not. To the vegans in the live, be sure to start liking and sharing this so we can get this to more people and we can have more people seeing these types of conversations and engaging with these ethical questions. Vegans, put a blue heart in the chat.
Hello.
Hi, you guys want to have a conversation?
Sure.
We're live on YouTube, is that all right?
It's fine.
Yeah? Could I have you come? I'll have you stand right here just so you're in frame.
You bet.
Did you happen to see the TV?
I did not look at it, could not see it at all.
Okay. Do you mind if we show you
Sure.
some footage?
What do we got?
So right here, what we're looking at is we're looking inside a slaughterhouse.
Yep.
Where we send animals, that we consume for food. Right now, this is pigs specifically. But these pigs, right, this is showing them, in these this isn't a slaughterhouse, this is in one of the factory farms, but, this is showing the conditions that they're raised in and what they do, or what they go through. And these pigs, they're kept in these things called gestation crates
Gotcha.
for up to, I believe it's 16 weeks. That's how long a pig is pregnant for. And then essentially this crate is as small as, they can't even turn around. All they can do is basically lay and stand up.
Gotcha.
So they're kept in these.
So what are you proposing? What's the solution here?
Well, have you ever heard of veganism?
I have, not my thing, but I do appreciate this, and something different needs to be done.
Well, do you know, explain, or I want to, what to, or,
Let me stop you. I appreciate you and your cause, but social experiment is not what I had in mind. I thought it was more something else, but I wish you well in the cause. We're going to go across to the bookstore and do our thing. But
all right, well, would you be willing to take a card? Can I give you a card?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Running away.
Do you want to switch, or are you? It was really short, so.
Yeah, I'll go for another one. See if.
I would have passed her to you, but she seemed like she wanted to run immediately, so I was just trying to get in when I could.
I don't get why veganism's brought up and people immediately are like, no.
Yeah.
Or like want to run
their own
away.
choices, right? If you said dog meat market, they'd be totally for you standing up against it, right? Because most people don't want dogs to be cooked.
Yeah.
But when it comes to their choices now, it's suddenly, oh, you're a bigot telling me what to do. But I'm not a bigot when I'm telling the dog farmer.
The thing is, they say veganism is not my thing, but then fail to recognize the victims behind their choice. Maybe it's not your thing, but what about your victims? What about the animals? Do you think they have a choice? Do you think they'd be willingly in this position if they did have a choice? No.
I have somebody else who wants to be interviewed, or maybe on the side.
Do you? Okay. Are you okay? We're live on YouTube. Is that all right?
Yeah, well, that's cool. You want a little bit of my backstory, or?
Well, I mean, I'll have you stand right here and.
Like to the side, like this, or?
Yeah, that's perfect, right there.
Okay.
So, what was your name?
Jeff Stanton.
Jeff Stan. Nice to meet you. I'm Nick. Stanton.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Nick. Did you happen to see the TV?
I did.
You did.
I'm assuming that you have a power pack somewhere that's charging all this stuff.
Well, yeah, or we got,
Okay.
so the TV's going. But so, how do you feel about the footage that we're showing?
Those animals don't look happy to me, man. I don't know, man. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Do you think it's like fair? What's going on?
Hell
with it?
no.
No?
Hell no. No, to me, God puts a soul even in an animal. And to sit there, I don't even want to watch it, really, to tell you the truth. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, it's upsetting. Have you ever heard of veganism before? by any
Yes,
chance?
I have.
Yeah.
Vegan is what? No eggs either, or whatever else you're not, like cheese and.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is like something we do is obviously abstain from consuming any animal products, whether that's meat, dairy, eggs.
Okay.
So we do that, but veganism is more of like an ethical stance against the exploitation of sentient beings, or in this case, like non-human animals. It's just basically living with the principle of if we don't need to exploit these animals and send them into these situations, right? So here in 2026, let's say, if people have like options and like shopping at grocery stores or even just not even in the case of food, like buying a jacket, let's say, they don't need to buy like the leather jacket. They can buy something, right? So in that instance, when we don't need to exploit and use these animals, what is the justification or reason that we should still continue to do it in 2026?
Now, is this for pork? Are these pigs or what?
Well, I mean, we were showing pigs.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, it's disturbing. I mean, you can look away. I mean, if it's too upsetting, you don't have to watch
really
it.
is.
But
I love animals.
yeah, do you? How would you consider? I don't know
I'm homeless right now.
yeah, I don't know your situation. I know obviously that can propose some challenges. Would you ever like consider veganism though, or?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a diet of protest.
Yeah.
I might do it as like in a fast for like 3 or 4 days and maybe pray about it. I couldn't commit my life to no meat. I understand it's cruel, but I need the protein in my diet.
if you found out though that you could get protein from other sources, would you consider?
Well, for example, okay, I guess you can still drink almond milk, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's like plenty of plant-based milks. There's almond milk, there's oat milk, soy milk, coconut milk, cashew milk. I think I don't know them all, but those are just a few, obviously. But even protein, for example, like there's things like tofu.
I don't like tofu.
You don't like tofu?
Tofu.
Well, I mean, there's seitan. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I've never heard of it.
It's made out of like wheat, kind of like wheat protein. It's essentially, it mimics the texture of like chicken. So, think like obviously like a chicken breast. It's like, and you'd think of like, it's basically that. It's just made from plants, obviously. So that's kind of the texture it mimics. But I mean, there's that. There's also tempeh, another protein option. And I mean, there's like obviously beans, legumes. You can combine certain foods to make like complete proteins, like black beans, brown rice makes a complete protein. Peanut butter and whole grain bread, actually, surprisingly, it makes a complete protein. So I mean, there's tons of things you can do and like mix and match to get protein.
Well, for example, right now I'm in a shelter, so the food is whatever they give us.
Right.
Now, once I get into my own place, we'll see. I might give it a try. I promise I'll fast like that, but I don't know. It's a big deal. Well, no, you got to look at it from my point of view. People oftentimes offer me food or whatever, and I'll go in, and there'll be meat involved. I'm not going to sit there and say I would rather have something. I don't know. I don't like these pictures. So.
Yeah, it's disturbing to look at. Yeah. Obviously, I can understand like in a situation where you're like you don't really have much of a choice. Obviously, like for example, if I was me or just anyone was say stranded out in the wilderness and they had no other option but like to kill and eat an animal, you can obviously morally justify that. It's like it's for survival, right?
Well, a lot of them. I was watching a show over at Burnside Shelter where I'm at, and these mountain men. I don't even know what I was going to say. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Basically, though, what I was saying, like obviously in certain situations, like maybe your situation right now, I can understand. Maybe you don't have that many options, but as soon as you maybe are able to, or you can have a choice on what to choose, choose the plant-based option over the one that has like animal products in it? Because like to them, I know we obviously don't really think about it much, and like it's hidden away from us. That's what we're showing. This is all undercover. Right. Like cameras are set up and like all undercover footage, but they hide it from us because they don't want us seeing what is really like happening to these animals. So in that instance, if you have a choice, would you be willing to make that choice just so an animal doesn't have to, obviously?
Do you know what they need to come up with?
What's that?
They need to have a product on the market, like let's say it's a steak, but there's a stamp on it that says we've used every bit of this animal. I think if you can use the whole animal, it's like that I would accept more than that.
Well, I mean, I'm not as familiar with the U.S. I know in the UK there are certain stamps that they have on certain products like RSPCA Assured.
Okay.
To be honest though, those don't really mean much. There's been investigations, and even if it's RSPCA Assured, there's still like cruelty behind that. These like companies have been exposed. There's also like they call it the red tractor scheme. It's essentially supposed to be for the welfare of these animals, but in reality it's just basically a big propaganda thing to like make you feel like, oh, I'm buying something more humane, quote unquote. But
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and these animals still end up in the same slaughterhouse, and
I'm just coming up with an idea. I'm desperate to still eat meat and be a vegan at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, I understand your situation right now. Maybe you don't have the most option, but like when you do have options, or you're at a point where you can choose, I would obviously encourage you to think about maybe this footage, think about what you've seen, and to them, what they have to go through so we can have these products. And I always say, like, when you think about it this way, to us, maybe a meal, it lasts 15 minutes, but to them, it costs them their entire life,
Well, what you have done is you've instilled the fact that always from now on, from this day forward, look at a lunch, a breakfast, or dinner in the same way I looked at it 10 minutes ago. Because if I have the option to order something different, then I will.
Yeah.
But it's instilled in my head now, thanks to you, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I appreciate you stopping by, and I just, you know, if there's an instance maybe, and you do have a certain choice, and like,
Right.
I can choose the animal product, or I can choose the plant-based product, you know, I would encourage you, obviously, to choose the plant-based, and just think about this, because, you know, to them, their lives matter to them, and they want to live just like us, you know. I understand that us as humans, we're kind of disconnected from them. We kind of think we're the epitome of, you know, the world, but, you know, they're sentient just like us. They can experience, they feel, they can be happy, experience joy, you know, they make friends, you know, they have each other, like, and, you know, they're just having a subjective experience like us. Maybe it's not exactly like the human experience or whatnot, but I mean, to them, it still matters to them, and like, when you choose these products, you're taking that away from them, you know, for a reason. You don't need, you know, that product. Right.
Okay.
Well,
hey, brother.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I appreciate you stopping by. I mean, it takes a brave person to come and talk. And could I don't know. So you said I know you go to like a shelter. Are you able to like scan QR codes with anything, or?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. I mean, I have a card I was going to give you. You would have to use like a phone or something to scan.
Oh, I have a cell phone.
Okay. I have them in here somewhere. It's just a card, so I don't know if you'd be willing to watch it. It is this documentary, so we're just showing glimpses of it, but if you scan that, it is the full documentary, and it just goes over basically everything, standard practices, like, because what we're showing you, that's standard practice. It's not like an instance of like, oh, these are some bad farms. Like, this is standard practice all around the U.S. and, you know, in other countries as well.
Even branding like a cattle or anything. Who wants a hot iron put on them, man?
Right. Yeah. I mean, the issue is we see them as like property and objects when they're not. I mean, they're again, like I said, just like us. I mean, they're like us in every way that matters. You know, having that subjective experience, and feeling everything like us. So.
Right.
When we label them this way, it's maybe easier for us to kind of disconnect from it and just not think about it like, oh, they're cattle, they're property, you know, and but like in reality, you know, like I said, they're having an experience like us, they're sentient like us, you know, and they're living like us, and they just, you know, want to live their lives free of exploitation and harm. And if we have the choice to, you know, not cause harm to them, it's like, why not make that choice, you know? All right, well, I appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks.
You have a good rest of your day. All right.
Woohoo! What's been going on in here? Get my glove off. Hello, y'all. Killing for pleasure is wrong, obviously. Yep. Typical thing. Yep. Hello, everybody. It is cold out here today. We're at Pod Plaza in Portland, Oregon. Just having some conversations. Had a few already. Old man actually came up from last week. He was like our first guy we had a conversation with, and he had come before we were set up, so it actually wasn't, you know, recorded or anything, just totally fine. And he came back today just to let us know that he's really been thinking about what Cooper had said to him last week, and he's been making some changes, and he just came from a vegan restaurant today. So he just stopped by to let us know that if people are letting us know that what we do doesn't make a difference, that they're wrong, because he did change quite a bit, and he's still changing. He said he's still learning, educating himself. It's great. Should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless? What do y'all think, chat? Who do you think of when we talk about who are oppressing? Do you think of only humans? Do you think of animals as well? Would you consider animals to be oppressed by us?
Hello to everyone in the chat. Hi, Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
To the vegans, I don't know if this has happened recently, but put a 1 in the chat. And the non-vegans, put a 2 in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
We're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's Bookstore, raising awareness about animals and liberation and how there's connections and ties between the human oppression and animal oppression.
My phone is over there.
1, 3. 3.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye on the time.
We're asking folks, is it fair to use and exploit animals for food, clothing, entertainment, testing, any other purpose? If we have another choice, could it be fair to use them when we don't need to?
Someone says, no animals are not oppressed. I'd like to ask, how would you say so? Which animals? Because surely you can't be denying that oppression is happening. If no animals were oppressed, there'd be no oppression.
When we mutilate the bodies of animals, we confine them, we steal their babies, we forcefully breed them, when we steal their lives from them, when we hold them in horrible conditions, what could we call that other than oppression? What would we call that to be more accurate? Let us know in the chat.
An ethical consideration should be viewed from the oppressed, not the oppressor.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I read that thinking it was supposed to say something else. Testing products, I mean, you try to find products that don't test on animals. It's simple as that. I mean, obviously we recognize that there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, but it's about what's possible and practicable. If I'm a hypocrite, then what's stopping you from going vegan and not being a hypocrite?
Somebody says the powerful are the 1%, the rest of us are the powerless. That may be true in reference to capitalism and class, and we do oppose capitalism, we seek its abolition. But in the instance of humans and vulnerable animals, humans do have power over them, and that's what we're trying to communicate. That humans, when they unnecessarily use, exploit, and kill animals, they are oppressing them because animals want to be free, they don't want to be used. They want to live their life, their full life, not have it stolen from them prematurely, not be held in captivity in a place that is not conducive to good health, to good mental well-being. To the vegans, put a blue heart in the chat, and to the non-vegans, put a green heart in the chat.
Somebody says, where was it? Some nonsense. These farm animals eat better than I do. If you recognize that, if you think that they eat better than you do, seriously, then why do people bring up the fact that, you can't get everything you need on a plant-based diet when that's what the animals we farm are eating?
Yes. And somebody says, I need to have gains. They're talking about athletics and building muscle. You need to review the empirical consensus on the adequacy of plant-only diets for building muscle and for athletics. The empirical consensus is that we can thrive as athletes, as plant-only athletes, and as plant-only even bodybuilders.
Yeah. Exactly, Anik. Eat what they do. If they eat better than you, don't eat them. Eat what they're eating. Simple as that. It's not as hard.
It's so much more efficient. Why filter and reduce all of your nutrients by using animals as the middleman beyond the ethical violation of using a sentient person against their will needlessly? It's also environmentally horrendous.
And nobody's trying to annoy anybody into our beliefs or our values. It's all about the values we already share as people, right? We all believe that people should live. Their life shouldn't be impeded by others' beliefs. And so it's extending that courtesy to everybody. Not even extending it to them, but realizing that they should have had it all along. And they've had it before. It's been taken from them. And it needs to be given back.
To those who are just joining, we're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's Bookstore, and we're asking folks about animals and ethics. We're asking folks, is it fair to use and kill animals in 2026 when we have other options? To the non-vegans in the chat, put your best argument in the chat, and the vegans there will address it, as well as us here live will address some of those now.
Quick question: where did they get the rare earth metals in the equipment you are using today? By using and exploiting humans, which are also animals, which is also something we're technically
concerned
speaking out of. If we're against the exploitation of all animals and sentient beings.
But there are ethical ways to produce technology. There are
Exactly.
ethical ways to produce communication devices and microphones and so forth.
There's no ethical way to breed and slaughter and create a systemic system where we breed and slaughter beings just for that purpose.
When we don't need to.
Answer: child slaves, and you don't care, still using equipment. Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, we oppose systems of child slavery as well. We oppose capitalism worldwide.
Just because you don't understand the framework that is veganism
If
doesn't
you're
mean you should
concerned
get on
about
here.
slavery and rights violations within the plant agriculture industries, you compound them and you amplify your contribution to them when you consume animals who consume more plants than you would if you just ate the plants directly. So if you're concerned about those rights violations, minimize your contribution to them by just consuming the plants and not participating in the inefficient use of animals.
Because I guarantee you, if we brought up the human exploitation that goes on in animal agriculture, would you still be concerned? Would you be more concerned, like you should be?
Somebody says, are you a communist? We're here as total liberationists, standing against every form of injustice, every form of hierarchy, though here we're talking more specifically about animals and animal oppression and whether it's fair. Could it be justified to use animals when we don't need to, when we have other choices? Could it be justified to pick up the pig flesh from the grocery store, which causes the pig to be used and killed, if we could simply pick up something else? Is it fair to steal everything from them when we could meet our needs and thrive by simply not using them as well? To the non-vegans, put your best argument or your biggest personal obstacle to going vegan in the chat, and I'll personally respond to some of those right now. And we also have a lot of vegans in the chat who will respond there too. Somebody says, yes, it's justified. We want meat. Do you think it's justified to participate in violence when you don't need to, just because you want to? Would you accept that in human situations if somebody wanted to oppress another human, if they wanted to be violent? Is that a good enough justification to be violent when they don't need to, when they have another choice? John says the only system that is truly against all hierarchy is anarchy, veganarchism. John, I share your position. Here we're advocating for animal liberation more specifically, but I agree with you about these interconnections that are structural. The very concepts that build oppression have implications for both humans, animals, as well as our beyond human kin. No, this isn't a sheep hoodie. It's made of cotton. I wouldn't use a sheep when I can just purchase something else. Or I can thrift something else. I don't think I bought much of anything that I'm wearing. I was gifted it or thrifted it. Somebody says regeneratively raised meat only needs rain. Are you serious? They need no other input? What about all the land that you mowed down to turn into a pasture for them? That's one of the worst forms of environmental destruction that's plaguing Earth today, is the transformation of land and mowing down of forests to turn them into grass fields for certain animals to graze on. So that's not environmentally sustainable. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that. Hey guys, Frizzy here.
Yeah, I did 2 of them. And then
Overthrow anything? We're not talking about overthrow. We're talking about eliminating enslavement of sentient beings, of other animals. Yeah, what if aliens oppressed humans? Would we find that moral? If everyone went vegan, would it be sustainable? Yes. There's a study called Reducing Food's Environmental Impact Through Producers and Consumers. And it actually goes over the fact, it's one of the largest studies focused on that topic, and we use 83% of our ag land for animals, and they only give us 18% of other animals. And they only give us 18% of our total global calories. So we're taking someone's life for nothing, and we're wasting all of our resources for nothing. Abolish speciesism. Amen. I don't believe in religion, but amen. Abolish speciesism. Speciesism is hard to say, but it's very similar to the logic of racism or sexism. It's seeing someone as a something just because they have some arbitrary trait that you deem lesser. Skin color, gender, sexual orientation, whatever, you know. Species is just another one of those arbitrary traits that you're picking because it fits your paradigm, it fits your needs, and you don't have to think about someone else's needs. You just think about your pleasures. I look like I need more iron? Wow, that's crazy. I've never had a doctor be able to diagnose from alive. That's impressive. You should definitely utilize that skill for more people. Hey, what's up, Daniel? I see you.
No pressure to like eat.
Yeah, so as far as like crop deaths, that's a good question. What about all these crop deaths? Are vegans just big hypocrites? So the thing is, we are aware that animals sadly do get harmed in the process of plants, but we need to survive. Veganism isn't about perfection, it's about not supporting someone's exploitation, not demanding it. We're not demanding those animals be in those fields, we're not demanding insects be harmed, we're just demanding the plant crop. And the farmers, they themselves would prefer if the animals weren't even in there, right? If they didn't have to deal with them. So we can improve crop farming. We can't remove the exploitation of stealing from other animals, stealing their body, stealing their babies, stealing their freedom. Well, Jeremy, right back at you. Yeah, right? Diagnosed without even a blood test. Yeah. Humans are an okay species. We do some amazing things, but we also do some really terrible things. And we're moral agents, so it means a lot more when we do the wrong thing, when we know to not do the wrong thing. You don't need to be a farmer to recognize injustice to another sentient being. You can make your vegan steak medium. Just use beet juice. Yeah, they're my ears. I consented to putting holes in them. It's a little different when I consent to it. If I just was going up to people that I wanted to use and shoving tags in their ear, that wouldn't be considered fair or moral. You can eat plants. Why not eat plants? How does the cow consent? Yeah, exactly. Do you look at your baby and just say, I love you because you're so smart and sentient? No. How is it woke nonsense? Is it just something that's inconvenient for you? Is that what woke means to you? Like, why shouldn't cows have rights, right? What is it about them that makes it okay to do what we do to them? Yeah, I can't dictate what you eat, but I can point out the truth. I can tell you that the animals, they didn't want to be used or harmed. They didn't want their throats to be cut. Colton, your comment tells me that you're dumb. Yeah, woke means anything to them. I mean, it's fine if you don't believe me, but maybe go look at, Dominion 2018. It's a great documentary. It shows you standard practice. Just shows you what the animals have to go through in order for you to use them. And if you're such an omnivore and it's such a natural thing and it's the right thing, then it should be easy to watch what has to happen in order for you to survive, right? You should feel good about it. It should make you hungry watching it. But it won't. It'll make you uncomfortable. It'll make you frustrated. You'll start saying things like, they don't all do it this way. There's a better way to do it. But in reality, Dominion is literally showing you standard practice. The small farms, the big farms, they all have similar practices because it promotes more flesh being grown, right? It promotes more product for them to sell. There's other things that have protein, you know? Do you guys think that we should purposely test on animals for cosmetics when it's unnecessary? Do you think that we should lock animals in a zoo just so that we can rub our faces on glass to look at them? Do you think that it's fair to farm dogs for a dog meat farm? Yes, it's necessary. So, Roy, you eat dog? What is it that you need from dog that you can't get from other sources? I don't want you to support me. I want you to do something for the animals by not demanding their exploitation. It's really simple. There's also 10 Weeks to Vegan or veganeasy.org if maybe you want an organization to help you out, okay? These are great resources. They provide you a little community of new vegans so you can talk about your obstacles and relate with others, and they can even help you get over those obstacles. You get assigned like a mentor, someone to talk to. So go check those out. That's 10 Weeks to Vegan and veganeasy.org.
Yeah, I'm sure you could find.
If mass farming and slaughtering is not okay, why is small farming okay?
Yeah, I'm sure they're probably out there somewhere.
You can live vegan, actually. There is no reason that anybody can't live vegan.
I know.
See, there you go. Just because a factory farm has bad practices, I just told you that Dominion shows you standard practice. It's not just slaughterhouses, it's farms too. It's hunting. I'm pretty sure it shows other things like some entertainment, if I remember correctly. But it goes through all the animals for sure. You should watch it if you're going to keep demanding that animals be used for you. Oh, we might have an interviewer coming in. Hold on, guys. Yeah, I'd love to take it to the White House. I think that there's an injustice happening, but I don't know if they are receptive to that information right now. They seem a little distracted with other things. Colton, is that all you have to say? Because that's literally all you say. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
I'm Anna.
I'm Dion.
Nice to meet you, Dion. Sorry, my hands are cold.
That's okay. I'll warm you up.
Thank you. No, you're good. We're live on YouTube. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll just have you stand in that little purple
Okay.
square.
Perfect.
Just so that you're.
this one?
Yes.
Okay.
There
This
you go.
way?
Yeah. That way.
Okay.
That way you have. Oh, it did get turned a little. Let's make it so you're a little more in the shot. Awesome. Dion, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Lovely to meet you again.
Likewise,
I'm Anna.
likewise.
So we're just out here today asking about the difference between the powerful and the powerless. Which I'm sure you saw. Did they show you the
yes.
the sign?
Yes.
So do you think the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
Of course not.
I agree.
Yeah.
What if, I'm just going to go down a little bit of a line. What about if the oppressor's really strong or really smart?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
So then that brings me to, what do you think about like the animals that we send to slaughterhouses or use for food, clothing, or entertainment?
Yeah.
Do you think that we are being oppressors, like because we're more powerful than them in that sense?
We are, definitely. Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that we need from animals that might justify what we do to them?
That's a very hard question to answer. It
Yeah,
really
not what we
is.
think about.
Yeah. It's a very hard question to answer.
Well, I'll put it this way. If, like, let's say you weren't able to get meat, milk, eggs, any of the dairy or animal products that are in the stores, what would you do next? Would you go hunting for some animal, or would you start eating, like, plants?
What was the question again?
Let's say that there's no more animal products on the shelf. You just wake up tomorrow and somehow they're all gone.
Yeah.
What are you going to do next to make sure you get fed? Are you going to go out and hunt like cats and dogs, or are you going to like just eat the plants that are in the store?
Probably plants.
Yeah. So is there anything that you think today might be holding you back from leaving this conversation vegan?
No. I'm sorry.
I actually even define it. Do you know what veganism means?
No, not really.
Yeah. Tell me what you think it means.
No meat?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So that is something we do. We do avoid eating animal flesh, but it's out of a principle. So it's an ethical stance against the exploitation of others. So if someone was to like capture you and sell off those benefits, out of principle, I wouldn't support your oppressor because I wouldn't want to be enslaved or exploited. So it's the same thing. Does that kind of fit with your principles?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I give you some resources, would you be willing to look into this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So this colorful side shows you some resources. If you don't want to scan it though, I do suggest watching that documentary Dominion. It's free on YouTube.
Okay.
And it just shows you standard practice.
Okay.
Can I ask you two last hard questions?
Yeah.
So if you're willing to watch Dominion, would you be willing to go plant-based until you watch it? And I can explain why.
I don't want to lie to you.
I don't want you to lie either. So I'll explain why I asked. I asked because for two reasons.
Okay.
One is you may not be fully aware of what it is that you're supporting, and this kind of stops you from making more victims in the sense that you may not, you don't want to cause more harm without knowing it. The other side of it, they've done studies, when people watch that film and they've just consumed animal products, they tend to suffer from what's called cognitive dissonance. So they kind of blur out, they don't really pay attention to the film, whereas those that abstain from using animals and watch the film are a little more present and they absorb the information a little better. So it just makes you more honest when watching it.
Okay.
Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah.
And it's free on YouTube. You can watch it on your phone.
I'm going to watch it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
Okay, so then the last question I have is, how many more animals would you want to exploit in your name? Is it more than 0? Would you want?
Oh, no, I don't want to exploit any animals.
Then that's just your value, right?
Yeah.
That's how you feel about it. So the only thing that you need to do is just align your actions with your values, because it's a principle we actually all share. Yeah.
How long have you been vegan?
I've been vegan 9, almost 10 years.
Okay. And you decided to...
Yeah, I saw the dairy industry, and do you know what happens in the dairy industry?
No.
I can go over it real quick. So a cow is a mammal, right? She only produces milk for her baby. Do you think she decides to get pregnant, or does the farmer?
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. And even if they do it the natural method, which is not the often way they do it, even if they do the natural method, a lot of the bulls are bred too big, so they end up a lot of times harming the cows because they're very rough, and sometimes they have to put down the cows because the bulls are just too heavy. So what they do normally is artificial insemination, which is a farmer putting a glove up to his shoulder and then putting his arm in her bum like her colon is a glove and holding her cervix in place and then squirting bull semen in her vagina. And then they massage that in there. It's terrible. They show that standard practice, small farm, big farm, that happens for us to have milk. 9 months later, after she has, or she gives birth after 9 months, and because she's producing milk that we want to use, what do you think happens to her baby? Yeah, I didn't know this at all. And when I discovered this, I was like, I just can't support someone penetrating a cow and then stealing their baby. And cows are one of the most studied farm animals, and they've been found to be extremely maternal. So that when you separate them, it actually causes great stress to both of them. And often if you drive by dairy farms when they do that, because they do them all at once, you'll hear all the cows moaning because they're calling out for their babies. Yeah, so it's like, it's an urgent thing. That's why we're out here talking to people, because every time that you pick up milk, you're literally telling them, I like the process and I like how you made it make more. So they just keep doing it. And cows can live to be 20. And the dairy farm is probably where animals live the longest. And they only get to like maybe 6. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like a dog. And you're just ending their life at 6 because they don't make puppies or something anymore. You know, that's just, So you sound like an honest person.
Yeah.
Remind me your name one more time. Dion. I really appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for talking.
Yeah.
Where can I find this?
So if you flip that card over, the black and white side, we're anti-animal use. You can find us Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Awesome. Well, thank you for talking to
thank
me.
you so much. You're amazing. You
Thank
really
you.
made my day today.
You as well.
Thank you. Yeah. Hell yeah. You have a good day. Yeah. That was amazing, guys. I love honest people. W's in the chat. That was an amazing conversation. How was it lies? What did I lie about? Oh, Chase, 15 years? Bro, that's amazing. Yes, dubs in the chat. Dubs in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. I'm going to turn this a little bit. How am I not honest? Can you at least tell me what it is that I'm not honest about? Thank you for all the W's to the guests. That was amazing. Yeah, what were the lies? I said dubs in the chat because that guy was actually one of those people we were talking about, one of those people that didn't know and was like, I need to look into this. I love
open-minded people.
Yes.
It's so good to find people who are willing to lean into an uncomfortable conversation and not have these defensive barriers come up, because it just allows you to connect.
It really
and
does.
it allows you to really show and just connect through conversation that these animals are sentient and that they don't want to be used, and that we have another choice in this modern era. There was a time where we were in caves, but that's not today. Most of us are in the grocery stores, at farmers markets, and we have choices there.
Oh yeah.
Exactly,
especially here. Animals are someone. They're sentient. They're experiencing life.
We're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's bookstore. We're talking to folks about animals and oppression. We're asking folks, is it fair to oppress or use animals in 2026 when we have other options?
Real quick before we get into anything.
So the world won't go vegan overnight. I wish they would. But it'll be a slow change, and eventually it'll be to a point where animals, there's a low enough number of them that we can just put them in sanctuaries and let them live out their lives. But we can stop our actions now. The fastest way to get there is right now. Stop demanding their exploitation. The longer you take, the longer we get to their liberation. You're extending their exploitation the more you use them.
Somebody says it will never happen. It will also probably never happen that we're able to fully abolish humans killing each other. But it's a principle that we enact every day. Nonviolence. We enact not killing every day, even though we will never fully abolish it, because we recognize that as individuals ourselves, we don't want to contribute to stealing everything from someone. Even if somebody else might kill somebody else on the other side of the world today. We don't want to do it ourselves.
Right.
Just because somebody else might kill an animal, that doesn't mean that gives you a justification to do it yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, Chase, yep. Pigs are killed at 6 months old. Babies. Yep. No, you'll look like yourself. That would be amazing if I could look like somebody else just because I changed my diet. That'd be crazy.
To the vegans in the chat, put a 1. To the non-vegans who are open to discussion, put a 2 in the chat. And to the non-vegans who are not open and who are trolls and just love to kill animals, put a 3.
Yeah, and most people don't eat bone marrow. So vegans aren't against killing. We're against exploitation. Got a lot of misunderstandings. Some people don't know how to follow instructions.
Yeah. To the non-vegans in the chat, put your best argument or your biggest personal obstacle to going vegan in the chat, and we'll respond to some of them now.
Not gonna lie, but I enjoy the way they are treated either.
I don't enjoy.
Instead of completely abolishing meat as a food, we should thrive on ethical methods. So right now, with factory farming, we're only getting 18% of our total global calories, right? That's to push it to the max to get as much animal products out as possible. And if we cut it down to doing it the humane right way, right, you're still not going to be able to feed the world. You're going to use way more resources. You're going to burn this planet up even faster. That's stepping aside from the ethics. Because even if we were to say that it's better for the planet to use animals or better for us to use ethical animals, we're literally saying slavery is okay. Ethical, humane slavery is okay. It's better for the planet. It's better for those that are not enslaved, right?
Right. Like, if somebody was trying to enslave somebody, but they said it was going to be environmentally beneficial because they drove an electric car, that wouldn't make a difference. We're talking about the violation of the individuals and whether somebody desires freedom. As far as we know, plants don't desire freedom, but sentient beings like humans and other animals, we do want to live. We do care what happens to us. We suffer, we feel emotions, and we desire freedom. So why deprive someone of that freedom when you have a choice to give it to them?
The animals that you're talking about in the wild, they don't have those options. We do have options. Yeah, you can come over here and get stuff from the grocery store. I mean, also, you guys, you can order things online. If you don't have access to stuff, order online, right? You can't get beans shipped to you and rice. Those are some of the cheapest things.
Somebody's saying not sufficient nutrients or not sufficient diet. So put the name or the title or even the link to the study in the chat that shows that a plant-only diet is insufficient for humans to thrive. Provide the study in the chat, and we'll be sure to look at that evidence, because we do care about the evidence. Sorry, Bretta, I would abolish the presidents. I have to be fully transparent with you. That I do oppose states and governments as well. It's not necessarily what we're here to talk about today, but I believe that we should be able to organize ourselves and organize our own activities without somebody above us giving orders.
Hell yeah. Do you want to do an interview, or do you want me to take it?
What do you take it?
Like 1072 or something.
Oh, okay. What?
You want to do it?
Yeah, I can do it. If you...
Hotline, there's just a couple extra business cards.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I guess I don't know what you're asking about the cards.
Just don't love being live on YouTube.
Oh, I got you.
It's a 971 number, but that's like the live YouTube interviews, I think.
Yeah, this is live YouTube interviews over here.
Just a little moment over here then.
Yeah, that's, I mean, we're like trying to bring people in, but you can. Well, we're just trying. It's not really so much that we're trying to advocate for rights.
Oh, rights are the best kind of social work.
Yeah. So like, when we look at animals, what is it about them? What trait is it that really justifies?
I don't know, factory farming or forests or conservation.
Yeah.
Conservation surely brings people together.
And the thing is, factory farming it exists because it's conservative. It reduces land use, water use. The animals get to slaughter weight faster. But is that fair to them, the animals?
No, not in any forest.
Yeah. What about if they're really well taken care of? Do you think that's still fair?
Well, conservation has to be, at this point in my mind, responsible.
Yeah, I
It has
mean,
to be local or locally managed.
if you are worried about the environment, definitely using animals is like the worst thing.
Well, anything, because forests and animals should be treated well. So, like, if you're in Pals,
Yeah.
down here looks like a little ecosystem, because that's, like, socially maybe exactly what it is.
Yeah. Well, I guess what we're saying is like, is it our right to, violate someone's autonomy just because they're a different species? Yeah. And that's all we're trying to say is like,
That's a good experiment.
yeah. Do you want a card just so you can see our resources? It's a colorful side there.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
We have better cards coming out. This is our old card, but it still has great resources. If you can't scan it though, Dominion is a great.
I'll put on the back of this book tablet. Well, it's just for. Thank you.
Appreciate you. I like curious people. Not everyone has to be on camera, so sorry guys, you don't get to see them. All right. Yeah, so like what is a good reason for not being vegan? What do animals have that makes it okay to do to them what we do to them for optional products? Yeah, just because other animals do things, that doesn't mean that you use them as your moral compass, right? They also commit infanticide, they abandon their babies, they grape each other, they steal from each other. Are you going to tell me because it's in nature that it's natural to do that, it's okay? It's okay to steal from your neighbor. It's okay to schmurder them when it's convenient. I look amazing. Yeah, vivisection's terrible. Like, can you imagine that they shove things down beagles' throats until they puke up blood and die? It's terrible. They do that. We don't need to do that. We have better technology now. Dogs can't be vegan. They can be plant-based. There's plenty of vegan dog food companies that you should definitely go Google them. There's more than I can count on one hand. And they're fortified by veterinarians and the AAFCO, I think is what it is. I might have mixed up the initials there, but they're the ones that are responsible that if a pet food doesn't, if a pet food doesn't meet their standards for their nutrition, then it gets pulled off the shelf. I need some hand sanitizer. Where is it? Somewhere, there it is. Hold on one second, guys. Got some hand sanitizer. Dogs are not carnivores, they're actually omnivores. And we're more like opportunistic omnivores, so like we can survive on a lot of things, but it doesn't mean it's always healthy for us. Doesn't mean we'll thrive on it. They're not held to the same standard, just like children aren't held to the same standard as adults, right? They're what we call moral patients. So they don't necessarily understand adult human morality, moral agent morality, which is someone who can be held accountable for their actions, who understands there's consequences to what they do. So children are what we call a moral patient. And so are the animals that we use. They're moral patients. They have their own morality, right? They have their own understandings. The wind is like doing a little vortex thing right here. It's driving me nuts. But because they're moral patients, they don't necessarily understand our standards. And they're surviving a harsh environment with techniques that they were taught or they have instinctually to survive those harsh environments, right? They don't have options. They're not taught information like we are. Humans are actually quite stupid, okay? If we don't have other humans to teach us, we're garbage. We can't learn we don't know anything. We stand literally on, not literally, but we stand on the shoulders of giants. That is a true statement. Yeah, exactly. They always bring their fallacies and hypocrisies in ink. Meat flakes with the consciousness of rocks. Yeah, I have a job. I'm doing it right now. I'm defending the animals. Hey, do you want to be interviewed? Okay, no worries. Tell me, how am I stupid? I would love to hear. I'll try to do better. We are cattle? How are we cattle? Yeah, exactly. Cheap, easy food right there. Rice, beans, pasta, bread, fruits, vegetables, seeds, cereals, lentils, grains, tofu, etc. Do you want to jump in? Sure.
Hello to the chat. Hello to the vegans. To anybody who's joined more recently, we're across from Powell's Books here in Portland, Oregon. We're asking folks about animals and fairness. We're asking, in 2026, when we have another option, is it justified to use and kill animals? To the non-vegans in the chat, put your best argument or your biggest personal obstacle to living a vegan life in the chat, and I will respond to some of them right now. Hi, Sabby. Hello to the vegans. Very thankful to the mods. Somebody says, she's rich, people, don't be fooled. She owns 2 grocery stores. Wow. Just because she's vegan stoner lady doesn't mean she owns every vegan business in Portland. Like, wow, that would be pretty cool. We would save so many people.
2 vegan grocery stores, but they're not vegan stoner lady grocery stores.
Somebody says meat is better for muscle gains. There's not evidence for this claim, and if you think there is, put the name of the scientific study in the chat that shows that animal flesh is better for building muscle than plant protein. We do want to see the evidence if you can provide it, but right now you're just stating it without evidence. So we can dismiss it until you provide that evidence. Yeah, there's like a statue behind us. It's like a little bit of a sculpture here. We're at Pod Plaza here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's Bookstore. Somebody says Jesus Christ study. You mean to say the Bible? The Bible doesn't mandate, or really any religion doesn't mandate the use of animals, meaning that for any religious person, using animals is a choice, just like for non-religious folks. So when you can choose to kill animals or not, why not choose to leave them be? Why not choose that more compassionate choice? Somebody says, have you studied biology and stuff? No, I'm not a biologist, but I have reviewed the empirical consensus on the adequacy of plant-only diets. It's the consensus among scientists and the world's nutrition organizations that humans can thrive on a plant-only diet. Somebody says sodium in plant-based meat is too high. You don't have to eat plant-based meat. There are many Whole Foods plant-based vegans who choose not to eat the mock meat alternatives at all for health concerns. Although mock meats are showing right now in the latest studies to be more healthy in terms of heart health and certain cancers than their animal flesh counterparts, you don't have to eat them if you don't want to, if you have health concerns about them. You can choose a plant-only diet that's based in whole foods if you would like as well. Somebody says we have canine teeth. When you say that, you're saying that because we have pointy teeth that can munch flesh, it's acceptable for us to munch flesh. Just because we can commit violence and we can be violent towards animals, does that mean that we should be? Or should we choose not to be violent if we have that choice? What's more fair to the animal, do you think? Somebody says, what are your pronouns? I don't mind any pronouns. As long as you're not trying to disrespect me or call me slurs, something like that. I don't really care. Somebody says, what do you eat on a daily basis? I eat a lot of things. I like bread, like sandwiches. I eat lots of lentils and beans, and I love soy curls. I like rice and stir fries and veggie stir fries, things like that. Some of my favorites, like pizza. Somebody says we are biologically designed for it. So again, provide the link to the scientific study that shows humans need those animal products, the animal flesh and the animal secretions to thrive. Provide your source. We want to see the evidence. Okay, for those who have joined more recently, we are here in Portland, Oregon, at the Pod Plaza, across from Powell's Bookstore. We're talking to folks about animals and fairness. We're asking folks, is it fair to kill animals or to use them for any purpose when we can not use them, when we have a choice not to use them? To the vegans, put a 1 in the chat. To the non-vegans, put a 2 in the chat. And also to the non-vegans, put your best argument against veganism in the chat so vegans there can discuss it as well as I can address it here now. Hello, Sabby. Hello, Jason. Seeing some vegans.
Have a conversation. You're talking to an extra. Are you ready? I'm not a millennial. I'm not a Gen Z.
All right.
Well, what is this all about? I don't know. Well, I mean, before we get into anything, we are.
Somebody says I eat meat and I have more muscle than you. That's probably because I'm not an athlete. I'm not seeking to build muscle. There are vegan bodybuilders who are able to build muscle on plants only if they want to. It does matter that somebody cares and wants to do that in the first place. It's not my goal. Hello to Chase. Somebody says, do you know plants feel pain too? This is another big claim that requires evidence. You need to back this up. Provide the name of the scientific study which demonstrates that plants are conscious and feel pain. Somebody said elephants eat plants. That's true. What's the relevancy of that? Somebody says plant killer. What's wrong with killing plants if they don't have a desire to live, a central nervous system that produces pain, etc.? Surely I don't go and just knock over trees or cut them down needlessly. I think that we can respect the earth more than that. But when we're making a choice between taking everything from an animal or chopping up some broccoli, I think it's clear that choosing the plant choice is more ethical from the animal's perspective. Somebody says, they are alive too, bruh. Yes, plants are alive, but they don't have a brain or a central nervous system or pain receptors. So they don't have these organs which are necessary to produce consciousness, which means that yes, they're alive, but they don't feel pain. But let's imagine that there's a new study that comes out and it does demonstrate that plants feel pain. I think the move from there would be to consume as few plants as possible. And in order to do that, the best thing to do would be for everyone to switch to a plant-only diet, because an omnivore food system requires much more plants overall than a plant-only one because of all of the plants that are fed to animals to get them to slaughter weight. So if you want to minimize plant deaths, go vegan. To those who have joined more recently, we are here in Portland, Oregon. We're across from Powell's Bookstore here at the Pod Plaza. We're asking folks about animals and fairness. Do you think it's fair, for instance, to kill a chicken at 42 days old, at just 6 weeks old, to use their flesh when you could have picked up a different protein source at the grocery store, a different plant protein source at the grocery store? Is it fair to the bird to do that, to steal everything from them?
How's it going? Oh. Why is a vegan in here being terrible?
Somebody says trying to connect food and morality is a weak argument. I think you would recognize that it's not fair to steal the life from a dog, to take everything from them, to slit their throat, if you could have eaten something else. So why do you have a different standard for animals like pigs, fish, cows, birds, etc.? What's the difference between the dog and the pig or the dog and the fish that makes it acceptable to kill the fish or the pig or the cow but not the dog? What's special about the dog? Somebody says, love what you were doing. Thank you. To the vegans in the chat, continue liking the live, continue sharing it. We want to get this stream to as many folks as possible so we can spread this message, so that we can do more educating on the rights of sentient animals and the fact that our liberation is intertwined with other animals. Somebody says they think factory farming is wrong, but they do think it's fair to kill an animal. I agree with you that factory farming is wrong, but why is it okay to kill just one animal who's really happy, who's in a great farming system, who's being taken excellent care of? Why is it okay to kill just one animal if you don't need to? Would you accept killing happy dogs?
You want to switch up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to. Hello! All right. Just restating for people who are not here, this is a Pod Plaza, Portland, Oregon. We're outside of Powell's Books. Sickly? Who's looking sickly? I tried extra hard to not look sickly today. Oh, all right. We're asking about oppression.
I have a question.
Leave your... Oh, you have a question.
Live about nature.
Yes.
Are we live on YouTube still?
We're live on YouTube, yes.
Sure, why not?
You want to have a conversation?
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right, it's just about oppression.
Sure.
Yeah, totally.
If it's a social experiment that says talk to me,
Oh, yeah.
I like this sign other than the thing that it says above 87 and 127.
What is that?
But it's
Oh,
an
yeah.
interesting- Well, it's fine. It's an interesting sign. And if it's just a social experiment, it's never just for only one thing, you know?
No. Would you mind stepping just
sure.
in this little square there?
This is a GNC resonant harp.
Oh, I love that.
So it plays two notes at once, right? The yellow one is great note.
That's pretty. I love that.
Thank
Oh, yeah, but...
So Cassidy, I'm sorry, what's your
Oh, no,
last
I'm
name?
Elvin.
Elvin?
Yes.
Heck
Nice
yeah.
to meet you. Yeah,
I
the
love
sign...
your drip today.
Oh, thank you. The sign it's just to point out like arbitrary things, right?
yeah,
so that's
yeah.
why the IQ is there, right?
yeah,
It's like this.
and
It's an arbitrary thing people use to justify.
Right. And if there's a zero at the end, back in my day, if it said 1270 or 870, maybe it was like an SAT test.
Oh yeah, the SAT is like
Not for me, but it's like in general, if it's just a number and a sign, talk to me.
exactly. Yeah.
Should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
Yeah.
Heck no.
Right.
0% chance.
It's pretty like easy questions just
Oh,
to get
yeah.
started. Like
and that's
and then
on like the right side of an experiment for me now, because if you flip the sign, it's just about conservation or something.
huh? Oh no.
Oh no, but talk to me is like, should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
And then
so.
where the sign is supposed to point
Oh,
to,
yeah.
you know, like even if they're stronger, like he's strong or visibly stronger than
Right,
her,
and they're just pointing
and then
out like
she's
that.
like mentally stronger than him
Sure,
or
sure, sure.
whatever. Whatever the trait, it doesn't give us the right to oppress anyone.
Oh, 100%.
And so
I'm just making sure this one reads, it ain't no dog tag. It just is a silly little number
Oh no.
for the Portland Immigrant Rights Coalition or Committee.
Nice, yeah. Totally.
Yeah, so I like wearing these because sometimes veterans or like people that are out here selling street roots, for example, and the person over there is named Russell. You know why that's so dope? That fool is in, like literally, Russell's a legend of this block. This week's street root newspaper, like the one that they just printed, right? Because they print them on Wednesday or Thursdays usually. So the one they just printed has a feature about Russell in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's really
and
cool.
Russell's down here as many days as he wants to be, because that paper right there with the yellow thing in front of it, that's just a stack of newspapers to me unless I get close. That's like a street root. So should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless?
Yeah. The question starts to go into
Yeah, I
like
love the exclamation point on the top.
we go
Let's
into like the animals that we
Right, right,
use
right.
for food or entertainment.
Right, or even like factory farming or forests if it's conservation.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
in
yeah.
general. Like, do
In
you
general,
feel
yeah.
like what is your opinion on?
Well, I have a few opinions on this. I think that conservancy and conservation makes a lot of sense. If you're talking about forests pretty much explicitly or only. For me, if you're doing something like talking about like legislation, Supreme Courts, legal rights, local politics, should the powerful have the right to oppress the powerless? Absolutely not. If we're talking about animals a little bit more precise or exclusively, Oregon's a pretty safe state for a lot of animals because we got like the prettiest, amazing forests up there, right? Up in Washington Park. That connects to like the whole west side of the hills up there. And over there, it don't matter because if you're on the west side of the river, next to like the Powell's Books, conservation can be hyper local. That's why it always works.
I guess that's true.
So I really like progressive or progress a lot more than just trying to fix the things that were messed up 80, 90, 100 years ago, right? So,
in what
sorry, go
sense?
ahead.
Like I'm trying to point out, I guess, basically. I mean, have you ever seen footage of like from Dominion or like what happens to the animals in slaughterhouses?
Unfortunately, I've seen that documentary. I think that on the hyper-local approach, the things that matter more to me on the political side are all up and down the Columbia River. And like, inshallah, at some point, a lot of those dams on the Columbia that were built 50s, 60s, 70s, they'll come down. That's called river restoration or reclamation processes. So if I'm talking about conservancy or conservation, it's only because we're making progress maybe as a planet. Overall, there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to be said still. Conservation and conservatism.
Okay,
It
so
goes into everything though.
so I guess just because I don't know, maybe just try to narrow down the topic a little bit.
So if it's
really about
factory farming, you're like,
it's really about the concept of animality as a whole, right?
Sure,
how do we
sure.
use these arbitrary traits to
Right.
allow us to treat other beings to a point where we can slaughter and breed them
Oh, I feel that.
in the billions,
In
and
the
then
billions and
yes,
billions.
and
especially if we're talking global.
yeah, exactly. And so like we're coming here to try to question people and get
I
them
got a
thinking
quick
about.
question. I got 30 seconds for you, or just like 10.
I don't know how streamlined this conversation is. I'm kind of confused. He doesn't seem to want to
I
listen
know
very
that
much.
some of the people already have these hotline number right here.
Huh?
Some of the people already have those because they get printed for free.
Oh yeah, maybe.
This one right here is PIRC, P-I-R-C. That was the yellow one.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, those are just.
I guess I just want to give you a card then too, because
Hell yeah,
we have
'cause
one.
The PIRC one
it's
is,
just
one
it's got
side is a QR code, or
there's a QR code on both sides. This
I
side.
got one of those on my tablet.
Oh yeah, I know where.
Oh yeah.
This one shows it's going to show a documentary about like what happens in standard practice for
Yeah,
animals,
can I keep
whatever.
this as a souvenir gift? for
Totally,
somebody?
yeah. I'll actually give you another one so that you
No,
have.
this
You
could be the street reach for Russell.
are you sure? I
one.
have so many.
Sure, I'll trade you back. QR code on the back says read the news.
Okay, and I just wanted to point out like.
Oh yeah.
So it's that concept of animality and using others
Right.
for your pleasure, and as we've come to, I don't know, I guess evolve, but
Sure.
as time has progressed,
Sure,
right?
sure.
We've come to a point where we've realized we no longer need to use animals. Like
Right.
there's no reason
No.
to use an animal,
Not to
whether it's
eat.
for food
No,
or
not for. Domestication's a hard one for me.
Well, yeah,
I
taking care
believe
of
in
them.
agriculture at this point only because of conservation and conservancy. I think that if there was to be real, Oregon's a beautiful state. There might be 5 or 10 million people here. Just down south of California, I don't know, 40 million. Just south of there, I don't know, because it's like hundreds of millions of people in the Western Hemisphere. And when we say animals and forests, now I'm thinking about Costa Rica or the Amazon. I'm thinking about the cruelty that happens if the trees down there aren't conserved in a responsible way, because Costa Rica's doing pretty good politically, legally, legislation-based, because their local politics has been on point for my whole lifetime. But outside of places like Costa Rica, if you just head a bit north and you're in Honduras or Nicaragua or Guatemala, the red card I gave you has one language on it in Tagalog and one in English. So that's for the PIRC, Portland Immigrant Right Coalition or Committee. They 3D print those, that's why it's free. And Russell over there, that's a legend. I see it in his yellow hat already.
Well, I urge you to check out the resources on that thing too, because
I'll check out the documentary because I'm familiar with it, but if it has moved me, I will always watch a documentary.
More so
again.
those resources then, because those
Resources,
resources are
thank
actually
you.
it connects you to a bunch of nutritional resources that maybe
Heck yeah.
make sure you know that you're not missing anything
Oh, heck yeah.
that
If
from
it's
animals.
If it's a 511 or a 988, we're in Portland, and I'll definitely check out your QR code. Can I flip that sign around just for fun, or see the next person?
Oh, it just says I'm doing a social experiment.
Oh,
It's just
I'm doing a social experiment. Come talk to
Yeah.
me for the superhero pose. Y'all are slaying it out here. Can I give you a fist bump?
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you.
Have a great day.
And Russell might come say hi only because at 2:15 there's a street race orientation for new vendors.
Oh, nice.
It's only like 1 p.m. I don't know. I'll get going.
Yeah, going vegan is the best decision you'll ever make. Yeah, no. Okay. Just joined. Are you going to eat at the Shake Shack? Hell no. Life is too short. Then why should we end it for others? If we're like, oh, life is so amazing to have. Life is so great to be experiencing. Yeah, that I'm not gonna talk about. But life, if we think life is precious, we should be using our power to afford it to everybody. Michael Jackson, bye. He was, well, I'm not gonna talk about. Do you have a vegan option at Shake Shack? I actually don't. I don't think so. I haven't checked it out. Yeah, no, I mean, like last time, it's kind of nice talking out here because people go to the Shake Shack and then they come and they have a conversation, and then like maybe claim that they hunt, they hunt animals only to. They only hunt to provide sustenance for their family, blah, blah, blah. And then they come out of the Shake Shack with their burger. It's like, what are you talking about? Who was my friend? My friend, that was Cassidy. I was talking about veganism with Cassidy.
Hello
Hi,
to the
Martin.
vegans.
Yeah, let me say hi to all my vegans again.
There's a lot
all
of
the
vegans
vegans.
here.
How
Thank
many?
you all for being here and being active in the chat. Keep double tapping the screen, keep liking and sharing the live so we can get the stream with a bigger reach so more folks can hear this perspective and can hear these type of ethical questions being posed.
Mm-hmm. What if you eat humans? That'd be pretty bad. I mean, not much worse than you eating animals, though.
Somebody says vegan food is expensive. So plant food can be more affordable than their animal counterparts if you focus on foods like lentils, beans, local fruit, veg. You can craft a diet that's actually up to 30% more affordable, according to Oxford University's latest study.
She's talking about a gay couple? She look like lovely peaches. Meat's killing men at 50 from heart attacks. That is true.
Somebody says plant-based, definitely more affordable. I'm on the poverty line. Absolutely, Anik. Many folks who are working class and are living in poverty, they are already eating predominantly plants because that's already what's most affordable at the grocery store.
Ew. Sorry. MAGA jump scare.
Ew.
I don't eat meat for decades. That's amazing. Good for you. See, people would claim that you'd be dead right now. People are claiming that you would be like literally dying. We are at Pod Plaza in Portland, Oregon. We're outside Powell's bookstore as well. Hi, Rebecca. Rebecca is here now. She's gonna say hi.
Hey, good to see everybody. I had an appointment.
I think it was Lambret asking where you were.
Running a little late. I'm here. Hello to all the wonderful vegans. Thank you for being here with us in Portland, Oregon at the Pod Plaza.
We're happy to have all of you here. To the vegans, put a blue heart in the chat. And to the non-vegans, put a red heart in the chat.
Plant-based is more affordable because I have transferred from that, and meat is gross. I feel so much better, and I've done so many cleansing, deworming for tapeworms and stuff from meat 4 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy. It's interesting, the parasites that end up living in our bodies because we choose to consume the bodies of others. And we could just not do that at all. Okay, you keep asking where we're filming from.
Yeah.
I've said it like 3 times, man.
Somebody's asking where we're filming from, but we're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's bookstore at Pod Plaza.
Just because the music. It's like they're live.
Oh, those. See, the dogs are in chains. They have companion, or they have guardians. They have caretakers. Yeah. There's a difference between rescuing somebody and taking care of them and being a moral agent for them because you recognize that they maybe can't take care of themselves, but breeding and slaughtering billions of beings, it's just a lot. They're calling you Gru from Despicable Me. It's kind of funny, although you don't really look like him.
Somebody says I am pro cannabis. Well, so am I.
Nobody is superior just because they don't eat meat. I mean, like, if you are... Nobody thinks we're superior here, man. If you...
No, you're good.
If you are triggered, it's likely because you feel like animals have rights too, or that you feel like they... You know that they feel pain, that they... deserve life. So the only reason you're mad is because your own values are being caused a ruckus. You know what I mean?
To the non-vegans in the chat, put your best argument against veganism or your biggest personal obstacle, and we'll address some of those now.
I've had things from black bean brownies to black bean burgers. Like, you can use plants for basically anything. It's all about finding a texture and then spicing it up. Literally. Anything that's meat, you find the texture and you spice it like it's that meat. It's literally the same.
Why do you think meat tastes so good? Because we season it with plants.
Right.
Go eat raw. Go out to the wilderness and find, I don't know, a dead animal and eat the
Dead
animal.
animal
Tell me how it
carcass.
tastes then.
Somebody says, what about insects? If you care about insects and their well-being, there are more insects that are being used and killed to support an omnivore food system than a plant-only food system. This is because there are more plants needed overall to support the omnivore system because of all the plants that are fed to animals to get them to slaughter weight. So if you
We
care
do not
about
eat meat.
insects-
We
Yeah.
do not eat meat. That's a fun question. Black bean burgers are awesome. Yes, black bean burger hype. I'm also down for like a mushroom burger. I haven't tried one, but they look so good. I watch Derek Sarno cook them on his YouTube videos all the time. Chickens are killed at 48 days old. Yep. Majority of the animals that you eat or that you will eat, they're babies, man.
Yeah,
They're
somebody says-
like tiny. They're at a fraction of their lifespan here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody says, do you believe that under a plant-based system, nobody would be harmed? No. And a plant-based food system that is still capitalist would harm workers. It would have crop-related harm. It could have a lot of harm baked into it. We are advocating for us to make plant food choices because they reduce the harm and the exploitation and the killing that we contribute to. But we need to couple our veganism with an anti-capitalist ethic that challenges the worker exploitation as well. Somebody says, what about mosquitoes? If a mosquito lands on you and you've determined that they're about to bite you, that means that they're violating your body. So you have the right to self-defense at that point. If you're talking about a mosquito who's just flying in the air, I wouldn't suggest that you just kill them. What would the point of that be? They haven't done anything to you. Somebody says, how do you feel about chicken eggs that don't have an actual chicken in it? So there are a few layers of cruelty within the chicken's egg industry that it doesn't seem you're aware of yet, and I would love to share some of that right now. So chickens are selectively bred in the egg industry to produce a lot more eggs than they would naturally. So while the wild chicken, the ancestor of the chickens that we've domesticated today, might lay 10, maybe 15 eggs a year, current chickens are laying almost an egg every day. So this process is incredibly taxing on all of the birds that are used in the chicken's egg industry. As well, all of those birds, when their egg production declines at just like 1 to 2 years into what could have been a 7-year life, all of those birds are also killed just 1 to 2 years into their life. And earlier on at the breeding portion, when the chickens are coming into existence into this industry, all of the males are shredded up alive. So there's like several layers to the cruelty. Somebody says, damn, y'all are nonsense. Present an argument, present a counter argument. It doesn't seem like you have one. To the vegans in the chat, put a 1. And to the non-vegans in the chat, put a 2. I'm trying to get a sense of how many vegans we have, which vegans are in the chat, as well as how many non-vegans we have. So for the non-vegans, put a 2. And for the vegans, put a 1. Okay, I'm seeing several non-vegans, lots of non-vegans in the chat. So to the non-vegans, somebody put a 6. What does that mean? So the non-vegans in the chat, put your best argument against veganism so that we can build this discussion. We can start having this conversation. Lots of non-vegans in the chat. That means that y'all are here. So what's your justification for not using animals?
What's that?
Somebody says, what group are you with? We're here with Anti-Animal Use in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's bookstore here at the Pod Plaza. We're here asking people about animals and exploitation. Do you think it's fair to use and kill animals when you have another option?
We were talking about the chat.
Yeah, I just had a bunch of these, and then I had these. She also had these.
I know, I thought these were a good idea.
Somebody says they still drink milk products. So dairy industry is similar to chicken's industry in some ways. So female cows are artificially inseminated as the standard practice, which involves fisting cows. It involves bestiality. And once this female cow is made pregnant, forced to become pregnant, and she gives birth, If the baby is a boy, they're killed shortly after because they'll never produce milk in this industry, and that's what the industry wants from them. If they're a girl, they'll be entering the industry like their mom, and their mother will continue to be bred every year for about 4 or 5 years. And once her milk production declines after about 5 years, she is killed as well. So every cow that enters the cow's milk industry is killed at a fraction of their lifespans. Everyone is artificially inseminated or becomes pregnant against their will and has their baby stolen from them. These are the reasons we don't support the cow's milk industry. We're still seeing as cows as objects, as milk machines for us to take from, rather than as our animal kin, our animal siblings who we share this earth with.
I guess I could look at those.
To the non-vegans in the chat, put a 1. And to the non-vegans in the chat, put a 2. I'm trying to get a sense, because I can see a lot more people coming into the live stream right now. I want to get a sense of how many people are here. Vegans, put a 1, and non-vegans, put a 2. Somebody says, do you support abortion? We're not here talking about that topic today. You can say that for another live. Somebody says life is unfair. Yes, there's so much unfairness in life. There's human oppression, there's animal oppression. But do you think we should contribute to it? Should we be the reason that oppression is happening if it doesn't need to happen in our name anymore? If we have another choice, if you can choose for animals not to be oppressed and used on your behalf, why wouldn't you choose that more compassionate option? Tell me your justification. You want to do it?
Sure.
We have a conversation about Toppin.
All right. It'll be over here, actually. Sorry. I
have a mark.
Yes.
His name is Buddy.
All right. Hello, Buddy.
We'll try to keep him in check here.
Okay.
He's reactive to other dogs.
Oh, no worries. I would be too.
Sorry, let me get him sorted here.
I'm gonna go live with y'all anytime, but it's a karaoke thing here.
Right. Let me just.
Yes.
Maybe I'll move it this way. There we go. All right. So, here. There we go. So,
yes.
Our conversation today is about, well, it starts with this question. There are 3 easy ones first. Do you feel like the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
Typically no.
Typically no, right?
Yeah.
And then what if they're stronger than who they're trying to oppress?
Like
Does
might
that matter?
makes right?
Right.
No.
And smarter or intelligence, if we factor that in, still doesn't change the answer probably, right?
It shouldn't. No.
Right. Yeah.
By principle? No. The principle is no.
Perfect. Okay, so
Now the hard ones.
we're on the same page there,
Yeah.
right? It switches when we, maybe turn the attention to what's happening in factory farms, to the animals that we use for food and entertainment.
Yeah.
And like how, we kind of put them in this category that allows us to, right, to like oppress them.
About to expose my hypocrisy.
Oh no, yeah. Well, I mean,
Yes, probably.
It's hard, like, with caretaking versus, consumption. But, like, have you seen footage before of what happens in slaughterhouses?
Yeah, and isn't it like illegal to film it?
It is,
often,
yeah.
or in many places?
Well, honestly,
State by
I think
state?
I don't know if it's just the U.S., but other countries are pretty okay with it. But the U.S. especially
process
is really
is the same.
terrible. They implemented ag laws, so agriculture, and to keep people from exposing the horrors of what happens in here. But we do have we have some footage playing here just from what happens there.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of brutal to watch, but it is what happens, and it is like the standard practice. That's all that Dominion shows is the standard practice. And so I guess I want to ask you, what do you feel? How do you feel about that? Or do you feel like we have a role in stopping this, or
Like an
ability?
obligation?
Yeah, like a moral obligation.
I mean,
I guess
probably depending on who we are, as if society makes a collective decision to do that, then yes, there's definitely power to stop it.
I guess are you? So I guess it makes me question, how do you feel like your individual power,
Minimal to zero?
Like you feel like
in most, larger societal issues.
Yeah, I get that. But I mean, so I guess I want to bring attention to the idea that every time that you make a purchase of animal product, right? You increase the demand.
I guess that's, yeah.
You increase the demand or whatever. And so that supply has to go up as well. So every time you do that, basically, you're confirming your...
Right. I'm buying in.
Right.
Literally.
So I guess my question here today is, to maybe ask you or get you thinking about what's stopping you from exiting that process or taking yourself out of the circle of harm.
References willful ignorance and the culture in which I grew up.
Well, yeah. Totally, yeah. That's definitely
that's my
like
answer.
The biggest. I love that answer because it's an honest answer. It's the honest answer. Like it's the
Do my
only way
best.
that any of us ever reach that point of feeling like somebody's better than somebody else is because we're taught that sometimes. Well, I mean, sometimes people are just genuinely evil, but but for the most part, we can recognize that 2.7 trillion sea animals killed every year.
Sea animals?
Yeah, that's an atrocity and that's horrible. And so. What we know now, right, is...
That is essentially the only behavioral change I have made is I consume deliberately less seafood or opt for farmed seafood. I don't know if that makes you feel better about it. But
it's
mostly mollusks.
The idea of, somebody else is something that will bring me nutrition.
So how does this idea fit into, other issues of, medical research?
Oh, I mean... It goes into looking at the data, right? Like only 4%, I think it is 4 of all animal testing ever that has ever gone to clinical trials for humans and been successful or at all or actually made it to that point. That the amount is 4%. So the amount is so minuscule. It's helped us so little that we can't even justify.
If the 4% is vaccines for polio or a cure for malaria, that is kind of the largest probably killer of humans on the other than humans, likely. I don't know. I don't know the data.
For me, that comes to a question of if it were,
is it as an exchange? Are we looking at?
Yeah, and who gets to make that choice? If these animals' lives matter,
it has to be people.
Well, yeah, and so you would try to make a choice that in the best interest of both of you. I'm Elvin.
Elvin, nice to meet you.
Nice. You said Jason?
Yeah.
Oh, nice to meet you. And so. In terms of that, right, I think about maybe children because, I genuinely see animals as siblings to me. Before colonialism and all this, imperial capitalistic bull, right, there was a system of subsistence hunting, which was, fulfilling out nutrients, if you literally had to, survival.
Yeah.
And so now we have this, but then colonizers came and they brought this system of industrialized farming or just farming in general, cattle farming.
That started in Europe. Right?
Yeah, and I mean they took it down to Africa, took it here, and so with the introduction of that system, right, we got Europeans clearing land and making way for cattle farming because that's what they were used to and that's what they did and that's what prospered their nation and that's what was going to bring.
Burgeoning capitalism.
Yeah, that's how they were going to manifest their destiny on North America. And so with that system came the categorization of human and animal, human greater than animal, man greater than woman, just in general, these ideas. Because before, indigenous people, they acknowledged the valueship of the land.
Kind of more of a relationship.
Yes, exactly. And so then but now we have this system where we breed and we slaughter billions and billions of animals, and it kind of gets to how did we get to this point? But it's all of what you said. I was raised in a culture where this was normalized, and maybe taught that, and then maybe willful ignorance keeps me from wanting to learn more. I had thought a plant-based diet was super expensive, and that it was unattainable, and maybe I was gonna have to count my calories and get a bunch of nutrients from this specific source, but I found out it's actually really easy to be on a plant-based diet and to the point where you could just probably drop meat and not do anything else and just eat more plants and be fine. But people make it seem so difficult, and the way the system has
feels
made
like
it
there's
seem.
A barrier to entry.
Yes, and
as well as just habit.
Exactly.
Culture. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so what we try to do out here is we try to get people to, wake up to that fact that, it's just a culture. It's just a culture of using animals and using, arbitrary reasons to define or to justify why we can use somebody else, especially when we wouldn't accept that treatment for ourselves or the animals that we do know and love and care about, right? Are you interested in that at all? Like, does that interest you?
In changing my willfully ignorant behavior?
Yeah.
I'm very unlikely to.
And why do you say that?
The habit, enjoyment, and the barrier to entry of like it's a change that I would have to learn what feels like a significant amount of information about to effectively make that change.
Yeah, I honestly get that, and that's why we're out here. Really,
And
is to make it
kind of just sheer ease. If it were a lot harder to get meat products, I would be
Yeah.
I would be much less likely to.
Well, I mean,
do that.
and I'll let you know, there's vegans working on that too. So they're trying to make it harder as well, you know. And so like as the years go by, as the world progresses, it's only going to get harder to find those things. And even then, like even if it is easy, like you know, it really comes down to the individual life of each person.
So what is the experiment?
The experiment is honestly just to have a conversation.
Okay.
That's the social experiment. It's like having a conversation about oppression. It leads into animal rights, and maybe asking why you
At least
do
expose a little cognitive dissonance. that
Yeah,
folks have.
and maybe just get people thinking. You know, like we it's literally all we do today. Like the whole day is have conversations and talk to people and give them resources. I don't know if you're interested.
Sure.
It'll make it easier.
I don't mind information.
That like all that, you know, having to find all that information. All of it. How it just seemed like a what? Like a barrier.
Yeah, barrier to entry.
Barrier to entry. That'll take down that barrier for you at least halfway.
Diminish it,
so that
yeah.
you can maybe hurdle over that motherfucker. You know, like
A little bit at a time.
exactly. And just like understanding that principle of like, you know,
But yeah, it's a good point that I hadn't really considered. Is it's not all or nothing. It's maybe just a shift by 20%.
well,
That over
well,
a large number
the
of
all or
people
nothing,
would have an impact.
Yeah, the all or nothing comes from the mindset, right? Where you say, okay, I'm now viewing animals as sentient beings who have a right to live, and then the shift can come from like maybe it takes you a few days to figure out how to stop getting this from McDonald's because like it's the only thing that you can stop by at or after work, and you know you still feel guilty about it, but like you're gonna stop. And so like in moments like that, like I'm like, okay, shift is okay, but it's really important that we recognize
You're not after shift.
Yeah, that we recognize that like the goal is, you know, to be eating, to not use any animals or not exploit anybody, just like we wouldn't exploit Buddy, you know. So
he's exploited.
well, I mean, in the sense of maybe
for his affection, yeah, for like he provides a lot of use, just in as companionship of a pet. So in a technical way,
yeah, I do.
some exploitation.
I do tend to argue, like a lot of people say, like, oh, why don't you? Like I've even said it before, like why don't you treat cows and chickens the way we treat dogs and cats? But dogs and cats in this country are also very like commodified and whatever. So it just depends, like what frame we're looking at it from. And so yeah, it was good talk with you.
Yeah, good
Thank you for stopping by,
remind me your
Jason.
name?
I'm Elvin.
Elvin.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you again,
Nice
Elvin.
to meet you, Jason. You have a great
Enjoy
day.
the rest of your conversation.
Yes. Goodbye, buddy. Y'all read like a script. You funny. I ain't got no script, girl. Yeah, totally.
Hey guys. Oh, do you want to jump in there?
It's up to, did you want?
Yeah,
I don't.
Whoever does should talk
I
about.
go
somebody
live
just
during
said-
the week, so.
Somebody just said Groot talks.
Like
Groot talks.
Oh, Groot.
I am Groot. That's all he says though.
He does say that. It's true. We got in there. Oof, you guys, come on.
I was gonna say there's a lot of.
So, if you're vegan, type a 1 in the chat. If you're not vegan, type 2. And if you're just here to be a troll, type 3. Yes. Okay. It's good to see we got some diversity in here. I mean, I saw that there was a 2 that said something about plants feeling pain. If you really do care about plants, go vegan. Because I know it sounds counterintuitive, but we feed more plants to animals. So we would greatly reduce how many sentient plants we breed into existence if we stopped using animals. 75% of our ag land could be rewilded.
Someone said, "Say no to plant slavery. Say no to animal slavery. Leave animals alone."
Plants literally do not care. They cannot care. They don't have a brain or central nervous system. They cannot make preferences. They're just reacting to stimuli. That's it.
Well, and it wouldn't be advantageous for them. I mean, they're stuck in the ground. Why would they want to evolve to a point to where they'd want to be like? That would be a horrible existence. Just being stuck in the ground and you're sentient and you're just stuck in the ground all day. You can't do anything.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty clear that you use the same arguments for human slavery that you do for anyone else's abolishment of slavery. We all care about what happens to them.
There was someone said you can't bulk on plants, and there's plenty of vegan bodybuilders. It's not unheard of. I don't know the lists of. I know you know some.
Of what?
Like vegan bodybuilders and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. There's Terry Washington, Nehemiah Delgado, Patrick Baboumian. Gosh, there's so many too. I know I'm skipping some. There's Brian Turner and Hinch Herbivore. I don't know the Hinch Herbivore's real name, but Hinch Herbivore and Brian Turner are both coaches. I think so is Terry Washington and Nehemiah Delgado. But you can reach out to them and they can show you how to respect animals at the same time get mega shripped.
What?
Ripped.
What physicians are not recommending a plant-based diet? Where's the source for that? Someone said, why are physicians against plant-based diets?
Like a medical doctor? They have like 24 to maybe 48 hours of education in nutrition. I would go to a dietitian or a nutritionist. And if you say, I want to be vegan, I don't want to use animals, they will find a way for you because there is a way. Vitamin zombies? I mean, you're a vitamin zombie. You're literally eating your vitamins through someone else's flesh when you could just take a supplement. We supplement the animals too. This is our stream. This is our group stream. We're called Anti-Animal Use. If you want to watch me, I'm Vegan Stoner Lady. I go live on Mondays and Fridays at 4:22ish PST time, PM. So come hang out. Come ask me questions. But right now, we're anti-animal use. This is grass-fed human. Go check him out on Instagram and on TikTok. He also puts out content. You can check us out. The dogs? Those aren't our dogs. What are you talking about? Free the dogs? They have caretakers. Why would I free them from their caretaker? It's okay to care for someone. If you have something you can give to someone or help them, you should, if you can. But if you're demanding someone be your toy, you demand that someone be your companion, that is exploitation. So that's counterintuitive. If you say you don't have to be vegan, you just don't be cruel to animals, that's an oxymoron. Because in order to use animals, you have to be cruel. You have to use them without their consent for your benefit, not theirs.
Someone said, Buddy needs to eat a steak. I will eat a vegan steak, plant-based steak.
Absolutely.
So
Meaty.
I will do that for you.
Meaty has great vegan steaks that are made out of mushrooms. They're delicious.
Do you think it's okay to have milk products if I myself keep the cow and I keep them healthy and only take the surplus from them? I mean, that's still, it's still viewing them as like, a commodity. Like, what can you get from them? And like, there's really no reason to drink like cow's milk. There's plenty of other plant-based options, to consume. There's soy milk, obviously, oat milk, almond milk. So, I mean, like, if you don't need to consume their secretions, then, why do it? Sure, they may not be necessarily being harmed, but it's still exploitation. Okay, so how does an animal give consent? Well, they can't, and that's the whole reason why we shouldn't use them. I mean, if there's a human, that can't give consent, let's say a cognitively impaired human, we obviously recognize we shouldn't exploit them and do things to them that, they can't give consent for. But when it comes to animals, it's fine to do it. Why is that? Look, you can think humans are more important than animals, that's fine, but you can just respect animals and leave them alone. You know, just respect them enough to just leave them alone. Like, why do you need to use them?
Yeah, like, for example, if dogs are below us, so much so that it doesn't matter that we use them for whatever our benefits are, then you're saying it's okay to kick dogs for fun because they're lesser than us, and I need my entertainment and exercise. Even though I can get it from another source, right? I can kick something else. I don't need to kick the dog.
I also saw someone say, I'm wearing a Nike sweatshirt made from child. Listen, I got this before I was vegan, so... But also, I mean, even if I was being a hypocrite wearing this, that doesn't then give you the justification to exploit animals. I can be a hypocrite, sure, but then why does that, you know, then make it justified for you to go and pay for an animal to be exploited and abused?
Everyone abandoned their dogs. I'm not kicking dogs. I'm saying if someone says, hey, I like to kick dogs, it's fun and I get exercise, would you then say that that is a moral person because they're taking care of themselves and that's what they have access to? Or would you say that's terrible, don't kick dogs, right? You would care about the victim. That's what we're pointing out. You have a victim at your choice. You don't need to remove their heads. You don't need to remove their babies. Yes, I agree. Non-vegans go blah, blah, blah.
I saw someone ask if halal slaughter was okay. They're still being slaughtered at a fraction of their lifespan for unnecessary reasons. So, no. If you don't need to slaughter them, if you don't need to use them, then don't.
You want me to take over?
I mean, it's... Yeah.
And then, like, if someone wants to do an interview, you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure.
I didn't, unless you want to keep going.
Oh, I mean, I'll hang out. It's up.
Yeah, if you want to. I only took it because I thought maybe you wanted to be taken off camera.
Oh, no, I'm just kind of hanging. Just because animals may do things to other animals doesn't give you the right, or doesn't mean you should do things to other animals. I mean, like lions, for example, you know, they commit infanticide, or animals in the wild, they may like grape each other. Does that mean you should then go do those things because animals do it?
There's a lot of people in here all of a sudden, 250 plus people. If you're a vegan, put a 1 in the chat. And if you're a non-vegan, put a 2 in the chat so we can account for all of these new viewers. If you're a vegan, put a 1. And if you're non-vegan, put a 2. And double tap the screen and share the live so we can continue expanding its reach and we can have these conversations with more people. Somebody says they wish they could be vegan, but eating meat is super delicious. Do you think the pleasure, the taste pleasure that you gain from eating animal flesh, does it justify everything that animals go through and eventually taking everything away from them by killing them? Does your pleasure justify killing? Somebody says, are you pro-life then? Are you the same one who was talking about abortion earlier? We're here to talk about animals and ethics. We're not necessarily talking about abortion. There's plenty of lives that discuss abortion. Join one of those. We're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's bookstore at the Pod Plaza, and we're asking folks about animals and fairness. Is it justified to use animals and kill them in 2026 when we have other options? Is it more fair to watch the nature documentary rather than attend the zoo? Is it more fair to purchase the cotton shirt rather than the wool shirt? What's more fair from the animal's perspective? Yes, as Chase said, continue double tapping that screen. Subscribe to Anti-Animal Use. To the person who says disliked, your engagement is still boosting us in the algorithm. Thank you. We appreciate everyone here who's open to have a conversation. Non-vegans, put your best argument against veganism in the chat, and Nick and I will respond to some of those.
You only eat roadkill? Well, I mean, you probably shouldn't do that. You're probably going to get sick. So,
yeah, rotting flesh has a lot of health concerns that come along with it. Would you eat a dog who had been run over and was on the side of the road? Or do you recognize that their body should be respected and that the body of this person shouldn't just be used as an object? Would you eat the dog who's ran over? Or would you call for their guardian to tell them their family member was killed? Which one would you do? We're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's Bookstore, talking to folks about animal liberation. What could justify using and oppressing animals in 2026 when we don't need to? Put your best argument in the chat. Somebody says, what's your opinion on the consumption of fish products? It's not different than the consumption of other animal flesh because fish are also sentient. They feel pain, they suffer, they have emotions, they want to continue living, they desire their freedom. So why deprive them of all those things when we don't need to, when we have another option? Somebody says, what about fungi? Fungi, like mushrooms, you can eat mushrooms. Mushrooms are not sentient. They do not have a brain or a central nervous system or pain receptors. So there's nobody suffering when you eat a fungi. But if you eat a piece of an animal, that person, the animal person who lost everything, who had their life stolen from them, it mattered to them each time.
Where someone said you don't get the same protein from veggies, where is the evidence for that?
Put the name of the study in the chat. We love to review evidence. If you can prove that, put the evidence in the chat. Put the title of the study.
You can get plenty of protein from plants. There's plants that have all, 9 essential amino acids, and you can combine certain foods that create or a complete protein have all these essential amino acids.
Someone said, go ahead.
Or I was just going to say, it takes a little bit of research to honestly learn this, guys. It's really not that difficult. What's more, is it more, or is your inconvenience of maybe going online and searching up how to get protein maybe a little differently, is that justify slaughtering an animal just because you don't want to put in maybe a little bit of effort just to look some stuff up?
No, we're opposing, all forms of animal use and animal exploitation. In what realm would it be acceptable to exploit animals when we have alternatives in all realms? Whether it's entertainment, clothing, testing, food. We have alternatives in all of these arenas. So why wouldn't we exercise our choice to leave animals out of it? Why be violent to them when we could be non-violent? To the vegans, put a 1 in the chat, and the non-vegans put a 2. More than 200 people here, almost 300 people at times. We want to get an account of who is here.
Yes, we do have jobs, surprisingly. We do have jobs, but we are out here on, our weekend doing outreach. It's just funny because, it's Friday. You're asking us if you have a job. Do you have a job? Or is it your day off? Is this how you want to spend your day off? Is just trolling these comments?
Would you be asking people who are advocating for dogs' rights and who are advocating against dog abuse, why are you out here? Shouldn't you be at your job? Would you be saying the same thing in that context, or for a human justice context? Or would you just be grateful that there's somebody standing up for justice? And if you believe it's okay to stand up for other forms of justice, why not stand up also for animal injustice and the oppression of other animals, the turning of these sentient beings, these animal persons like somebody asked about, these individuals who feel, into objects to be used? It's not fair when we have another option, and that's what we're trying to communicate to folks. But if you think it is fair, if you think there is some justification, put your best justification for using other animals in the chat, and Nick and I will respond. Somebody says animals are voiceless, guys. You need to watch documentaries like Dominion because they show what's happening to animals in factory farms and slaughterhouses. Very frequently, these animals are vocalizing. They're screaming out. They're saying, please. They're saying, let me out of these cages. They're saying, don't pull the knife across my throat. Not literally, but with their own vocalizations, their yelps. You
Right.
can see it through their body language. It's just as obvious as it is when a dog cowers from their abuser.
Right. It's really not hard to leave them alone. There's other options. Just choose the other options. Just leave them alone, guys.
The insulation on my hoodie is cotton, and also somebody was trying to talk about God, and would you use would you use the God excuse to use and exploit dogs?
Someone said druggy logic, get off the shrooms. we did indeed. We took tons of shrooms before coming here, so.
Yes, we are mid-trip right now. That was a joke for anybody not really understanding. Dumb stoners get sober. If you think that there's an argument that we've made that's illogical, name it. We'll address your counter argument. We're very willing to look at evidence. But when you insult us, it's like you're conceding that you don't have any other point. So we take it as a concession that your argument is weak.
Giving us a good laugh, guys, honestly. Should we stop all predators who kill? I don't know what the rest of that said, but predators in the wild, I'm assuming if it was predators in the wild, I mean, they're doing what they do out of survival. So, I mean, like, we don't need to consume animals or use animals anymore to survive. So just stop using them. It's not difficult. There's so many resources, and it's so easy to be vegan out here in 2026. There's so many options. Like I said, resources. It's just about it's just about respecting animals enough that you don't want to pay for their exploitation and abuse. Because, I mean, if it were you in the situation, you wouldn't want that to happen to you, so why do it to them? You know, if one day aliens came down and started to farm us humans, I'm sure you'd be begging and pleading for your life, so why is it different then?
Would you just
doing the same thing now? Yeah.
Just be like, eat my flesh. Put me on the body.
Do you guys want to talk to the child?
Sure. All right.
Sorry, guys. How's it going over here?
Nike support meat. That doesn't even make sense.
You want me to jump in?
We can jump in together.
I'll stand in here with you. I'll talk to the crazies. I shouldn't say crazy. I keep saying the wrong words.
We
I'm
got like
trying to do better.
300 just a second ago.
Oh, damn,
yeah.
guys. Let's go.
People like watching Nick and Cooper, too.
Hell yes. Well, why aren't y'all vegan?
Right.
Vegans, put a 1. Non-vegans, put a 2. Trolls, put a 3. Let's see where we're at.
Extra super trolls, put a 4.
Oh, yeah.
Extra super trolls, put a 5. Just put anything. Put something. Interact. Damn.
Hate from Florida. You know, there's a lot of vegans in Florida. They do a lot of activities down there. Oh,
well,
wow.
that was a lot of 2s.
That was. Wow. Okay. So 2s, why aren't you vegan? Tell us why. Keep it short because it's going to fly by. We're going to try to catch it.
Right.
We are not paid actors.
It doesn't agree with my stomach. It's interesting that
all vegan foods are harmful to your stomach?
Yeah. This doesn't make any sense. Vegan for life, yes. Woohoo, Caleb, yeah, go.
Hi, Pia.
Hi, Pia.
Yes, vegan meat is great.
Mm-hmm.
It is yummy. Plants do not feel pain. What was that one? It was kind of long. Oh, it went way back. Oops. Invasive species. You know, humans are pretty invasive. Should we treat humans the way that we treat other animals that we call invasive?
Right.
We wouldn't call it fair justice then.
Nope. We do eat tofu. Well, at least I do.
I love
Some vegans
tofu.
don't eat tofu.
I eat
Some
tofu
vegans
every
hate
day.
tofu.
Yeah.
But
I actually, first
I'm not one
5
of those
years of being
vegans.
vegan, I didn't touch tofu because I was scared of it.
I get it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
shoot.
just to make the point, you don't need to eat soy to be vegan.
Exactly. I'm sure there's vegans speaking at Portland City Council all the time.
They're in there, right? Not today, but they definitely go in there. They pressure the councils to vote on vegan stuff. They even have a petition going around. It's IP 28. It's about ending the slaughter and breeding of animals that we use for food, clothing, and entertainment.
Someone says, why is it okay? Answer the question. Why is it not okay? Oh, there it is again. Yeah, it's not. It's not okay to kill babies and not animals.
Oops. I'll get it.
Oh, you gotta not kill anybody. That's the point. To justify the unnecessary killing of squirrels, bees, and other invasive animals. If Anna just answered that question, but I'll answer it again, maybe in a slightly different way. Deeming a species invasive does not mean that they now don't care about their personal life, like their own life. So if you're wanting to solve an issue or solve a problem, you think of who's that issue, even like who does solving that issue harm? And who is it an issue to? Because I guarantee you that the singular deer is not worried about the overpopulation of deer. Do you like mushrooms?
I
love mushrooms.
They're amazing.
Great mushrooms.
Full of protein and fiber.
Oh yeah.
They're delicious. Turn them into anything almost.
Meat should only be eaten if I were to hunt it ethically. Corrosive Joseph says.
Hunt human meat? Is human meat on that list?
What is ethical murder? How does that look?
Veganism is actually something that anybody from anywhere can think about, and it's patronizing to say that it's only first world nations that can think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you're the one belittling other countries. They are people. They can think just like us.
Mm-hmm. Look into the Rastafarian diet and Rastafarian ethics.
Like, the things that we end up subsisting on are the things that a lot of poor nations already use as staples.
It's crazy, yeah. It's and even then, like they even did it and established it as a stance against like what was happening. They're like, no, like we don't need all this killing and all these animals to be bred and slaughtered for us. Like, we do just fine with the plants.
Exploitation means to use someone unfairly for your benefit. You're turning someone into a something to use as a resource.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny that you say that we're wasting our breath. You're the one sitting there typing out a whole comment that's going to fly by our eyes.
Yeah.
Bugs are not okay to eat. Many of them are still sentient. Some of them we just don't know yet if they're sentient. And if we don't need to use them, then don't.
If a species eat all the vegetable, fruits, and alternatives that you consume, you'd starve because you have nothing left.
Yeah, so what we can do is encourage natural pollinators, right? Natural animals to do things. Natural other animals, I should say. Instead of breeding someone into existence and using their labor, literally enslaving bees, right? Enslaving bugs and animals just so that we can have food, we can do it a better way. Mm-hmm. We don't need to use animals.
Nope.
We can do indoor growing too. There's also drones that do it. We have lots of options.
I think somebody brought up the Donner Party.
Oh, yes. Well, they were in survival. Does that mean now that we can open up human farms because they survived off of human flesh?
Cleaning out an ant infection? Is that the right word, or you mean something else? I don't ever heard of that. I'm sorry. Don't mean to clown you, but ants, obviously, if they come into your home, they're getting into your food, it's threatening your food security, right? Like, I guess, like, you can kill those ants. Veganism isn't against killing. We're against exploitation, right?
If those ants are posing like a safety issue and they're getting into everything, your food, you have the right to defend yourself in your home. Personally, I'm going to do everything I can to prevent them from coming in. So I'm going to block all the holes that they come in, right? I'm going to clean up after myself. I'm going to put food away in packaging. Yeah. I mean, you can do all of that before you have to take their lives.
Exactly. I mean, like, it may seem silly, but I literally go to the extent of carrying the ant to a crack that it can crawl in so I don't see it, just so that I'm like, I don't want to impede their life. And I recognize that if I don't see them, like, I really genuinely don't have an issue. It's only when they're like invading my space or in my food or whatever. So I typically, like, I'll blow ants. I'll be like, go in the crack, like, shoot away from me. Like, you're not here. I didn't see you. We're gonna move on.
We're not against killing. We're against exploitation. We're against using others unfairly for your benefit, especially when the other can't consent to their treatment. That's what we're against. And I'm sure you are too. I'm sure you want your autonomy respected, right? You're sentient. You care about what happens to you. Animals are too. Other animals are too. Cull the human herd? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, what did they say? That's the person we just responded to. But that's still leaving massive quantity of a species that consume whatever you eat. What?
I don't understand.
The logic you propose is to mass produce against nature? I literally have no idea what you're talking about. I'm so sorry. But I guess I want to say, like, the amount of land that we use to raise animal or to grow animals so that we can then eat them is demonstrably larger than the amount of land that we would use to just grow plants, right? To feed the entire planet. Like we could literally feed the entire planet off of a minuscule amount of land that we right now use to... Actually, that's not the first time I've gotten vegan Black Power Ranger. That is like actually hilarious. But if we use that land instead for growing plants...
You reduce it by about 75%.
Exactly, yeah.
Global farmland. According to the meta-analysis that is most comprehensive on this topic, if you're curious and you care about evidence, the name of this study is, and I'm going to quote it now, quote, "Reducing Food's Environmental Impact Through Producers and Consumers," unquote. That's the study. If you want to see the evidence, go look it up. It's free.
Aggressive roosters are culled and eaten in favor of more docile roosters. Is that something you feel like you're proud of paying into, or is that something you feel like you're proud that happens? Or do you feel like that shouldn't be happening at all and that all roosters' lives should be equal, you know?
There's a lot of people here in the chat, more than 200 people. If you're one of the vegans in the chat, put a 1, and if you're a non-vegan, put a 2. I want to see who's here with us right now. We're right across from Powell's Bookstore here in Portland, Oregon at the Pod Plaza, and we're asking folks questions about animal liberation. We want to know, is it fair for humans to oppress animals, to keep them as objects rather than treat them as sentient beings? Lots of non-vegans in the chat.
Yes, they lied about protein. The plants have the protein. Why not stop the killing? Exactly.
Somebody says, you ever plow a field? I think you're going to try to talk about crop deaths.
Summer?
But the comments are moving quite quickly. If you're worried about crop deaths, there are more crops needed overall for the omnivore food system compared to the plant-only food system. So there... Bye, fam. So there are a lot more crop deaths that are caused by eating animals than just eating the plants directly. But in addition... Even when we transition to a plant-only diet, we can still, or a plant-only food system broadly, we can still target the injustices that happen in plant agriculture as well. We should. We should also be concerned about that. We can address both at the same time. But certainly, an accident in a crop field doesn't justify you intentionally using and breeding into existence another sentient being to kill them.
Somebody said, I have combat PTSD. How can I help myself care about this again? And it's kind of like, one, I honestly don't think you're asking that from a honest standpoint, so I'm going to answer it in a kind of annoying way that may be annoying to you. But somebody who's seen war and seen killing, or maybe been in combat and has, PTSD from that, or anybody who has PTSD in general, should know what it's like to have experiences that have happened to them negatively impact their life.
Yes, I use the negative things that have happened to me in my life as fuel to create a more just and liberated world. I don't use it to say, oh, I'm going to be stuck in my ways and continue violating other sentient beings when I don't need to.
Like if I have nightmares every night, right, about something that I went through that was really terrible, I wouldn't then use that as a justification to not care about other things that are, terrible. Like, and it's also erasing, like somebody said, I think I just saw somebody say, all the veterans who are vegan and use their experience as reinforcement for like what they believe. So it doesn't make any sense to say, oh, I have combat PTSD.
No, it doesn't make sense at all.
So I shouldn't have to care about this. I'm thinking about if you haven't fought in a war, Alvin, you can't speak on it. Good thing I didn't ask you.
To everybody in the chat, please like the chat, or please like the live stream and share it, so that we can continue expanding this conversation, building a bigger discussion with more folks. And to the vegans, thank you for being here. We see you. Thank you to the mods. To the non-vegans, we see you as well.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of you here, but you haven't provided a justification for using and killing animals yet.
I still haven't seen one.
So I'm waiting for you to provide one that justifies what's happening to other... Okay.
Here, take this.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know what's happening. Yes, but please provide your best argument. We'll address them now. If you haven't fought in war, you can't speak out about animal abuse? What do you mean? fighting in a war and being victim to the state's brutal systems of war is not a justification to oppress another person, another animal. It's just not. To all of the non-vegans here, I see all of you. Provide your best argument against veganism, and I will address some of those right now. We are here in Portland, Oregon. We're across from Powell's bookstore at the Pod Plaza, and we're talking to folks about animals and animal liberation. Not seeing the more comments. If somebody is hearing this, will you comment carrot? I'm just not seeing comments pop up right now. Is the chat popping up on the other one?
It is. Sorry, sometimes the chat gets stuck and you have to like hide chat and show chat again for it to pop up.
Okay. I'm seeing everybody comment
That's what
carrot.
happens when there's so much cognitive dissonance in chat that it actually clogs the mental feed of the
It clogs the
computer.
gears. No, but thank you all for being here. Sometimes the chat gets buggy just because there's so many of you here. We welcome all of you. We're here to talk about animals and liberation. We're located in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's bookstore here at the Pod Plaza. We're asking folks, is it fair to use and kill animals when we have other choices in 2026? If you think it is, provide your best argument or your justification for killing animals and using them at all for any purpose. Put it in the chat so that we can address them. Or just myself now. Somebody says, I've been trying to debate, but you won't respond. I haven't seen your comments. The comments have been glitchy. I apologize for that. They said farmers who produce beans will also kill animals in fields. That may be true, and we should reform plant farming systems so that they are kinder for animals who are sometimes killed in crop deaths. But those are accidents. Those are not exploitation. It's not the same as deciding that you want to turn a cow into an object by chopping their head off and chopping their body into pieces to sell their body parts. It's not the same thing. We can oppose both. We can seek to reform plant agriculture at the same time that we abolish animal agriculture. To the non-vegans in the chat, put a 1, and to the vegans in the chat, put a 2. Somebody says animals are yummy. I'm wondering, do you, in situations of human injustice, does the oppressor getting pleasure justify the instance of oppression? Would you use that in any context except to harm, exploit, and kill animals? Would your pleasure be a good enough reason to chop the head off a dog and eat their flesh just because it brought you pleasure? Same thing with the comment that says steak tastes amazing. Does your pleasure, your taste pleasure, justify everything that happens to the cow, them being put through a torturous farming system and up until they have everything stolen from them? They say some people do eat dogs. That's true. Is it fair for those people to eat dogs? Or do you recognize because these animals have personalities and they want to live, that it's unacceptable to put them in these situations, to steal everything from them, to steal their life from them? Somebody says, how long have you been vegan? Over 5 years now.
Should be dead.
Okay, no, I didn't want you to feel bad about it. I was just
Somebody says, I don't see a difference between a cow and a dog. Okay. So is there nothing that we can do to animals that you think is immoral? Is there anything that we could do to a dog that you think is immoral? Is there anything?
Kevin L2291 says, don't worry about it. I tried to have a decent conversation last time to understand their ways. Never responded. So, what is it? Like, what is it?
Yeah, put your best argument. We'll address it right now. The chat has been glitchy and we can't help that.
Nobody's here cherry picking or doing any of that. Honestly, like the chat goes by so fast. So if you just wasted, it just shows like, I read that message.
To everyone in the live stream, be sure to double tap. Keep liking this so that more people can enter the live stream, more people can see this, and more people can have this conversation. We're not necessarily here to spar with everybody who's not vegan. We're here to say there's some things that we've learned about that most people don't know yet.
He's just gonna wrap.
Somebody says, How do you feel about abortion? Again, we're not here to talk about abortion. I've made it pretty clear each time I've introduced where we're at. We're here in Portland. I say that we're talking about animals and ethics. Somebody says, is honey vegan? The answer is no. Bees are exploited for honey. It is their food source, and they produce it so that they can eat it themselves. When we steal that from them and we use their labor to produce a sweetener, that's unjustified in a circumstance where we could have just chosen a different sweetener. Why not choose maple syrup?
I think it's good just to
go vegan. Somebody says, how much is your car payment? These questions are not relevant, so I'm not addressing them.
Well, it's like it's trying to point out, oh, you have a car. Oh, you have a car. You drive a car.
Oh, okay. So they're trying to establish that they think we're hypocrites because we use cars. So there's not somebody who's being demanded to be used. There's not somebody who's chopped up when we drive our car down the road. There may be an accident. Things happen. Maybe a bug accidentally runs into the windshield. If we could prevent it, we would. But we need to move efficiently in this world in order to survive and thrive. And we don't live in a place where we can go car free. It's not possible with the infrastructure around us personally.
I mean, and not to mention, there's plenty of car-free vegans who are only using their feet to get by. And so it's you could just be one of those vegans instead of, using the fact that we might be hypocrites to completely negate the whole, vegan movement or framework in general. You should just be vegan yourself, or
be the consistent vegan that you seem to think that we're not.
Care about animals and do the right thing. I don't know why you're being oh, well, you say you care about animals and you're doing the wrong thing. Okay, so what are you doing?
Somebody says you won't debate. Put your point in the comments. Somebody says Jesus ate meat. Was he wrong?
And
if he was eating animal flesh when he didn't need to and seeing animals as objects, then yes, that wasn't acceptable. That wasn't fair to those victims. No.
The reason it's not feeling like a debate is because there's nothing to debate about. Animals deserve the right to their life. They're sentient beings. It's literally called stating facts for a reason.
Somebody says, is that your boyfriend?
Who cares? You want to think about it? Think about it harder. Don't try not to think about it tonight.
Somebody says...
Okay, yeah.
I was trying to read that.
Sorry.
It's okay. Somebody says he ate fish. What does it matter?
God?
Why should you pull a fish out of the water and make them suffocate today just because somebody did it in the past? Why put a fish through that process and steal their life from them when you don't need to? What is your justification? To everybody who's joined more recently, we are here in Portland, Oregon. We are at the Pod Plaza across from Powell's Bookstore. We're talking to folks about animals and ethics, and we're asking folks, do you think it's fair to use and kill animals in a situation where we have another choice? Is it fair to go into the grocery store and purchase ham, for instance, and demand a pig be killed if you could have picked up something else? You could have picked up a plant who didn't have a central nervous system, who didn't have a brain, who wasn't conscious, and who didn't desire to live. Somebody says, what's your justification for continuing to exist? I need not justify that. Somebody says it may not be fair, but it is what it is. Would you accept this for human injustices? The idea of it is what it is, so we just have to let it be? Or do you think that we should change it? Do you think we should challenge injustice? Do you think that we should try to act more ethically? Somebody says if you didn't hunt deer, they would end up on the side of the road smashed. You could also do things more compassionately, like contraceptives for deer, so that there's not an abundance of these creatures, because humans caused the abundance in the first place. It's a human-caused problem.
If the light goes out,
Just because there are a lot of humans who some say humans may even be overpopulating the planet, and they might be causing mass ecocides and degradation, would that be a justification to harm or kill a human, or to exploit or use their body in any manner? Somebody says it is what it is, but it can be different, so it's just not true. It isn't that it just is what it is. We have another choice here in 2026. How can you justify putting animals in that position for you, on your behalf, when you don't need to. If you think you have that justification, we want to hear it. Put it in the chat. We haven't heard any justifications that actually can justify what's happening to other animals. Somebody says we love meat. Do you think the pleasure you gain, the taste pleasure you gain that makes you love eating animal flesh, does that justify what happens to the animals and their killing? Does it justify it? Does pleasure justify it? And if so, would you accept that standard for dogs? Somebody says I need to eat, and it's true, we do all need to eat. The question we're asking folks, do we need to eat animals in 2026? When most all of us are shopping at grocery stores and farmers markets, is it fair to them to be chopped up for a needless reason? Is that just? Does that align with a liberatory framework? For those on the left, does this seem to align with your principles? Or does there seem to be an inconsistency? Somebody says we need protein, true. But provide the scientific study that shows that plant-only protein is inadequate for humans to thrive. We're waiting for the evidence. For those who have joined more recently, we're here in Portland, Oregon at the Powell's Bookstore, or across from the Powell's Bookstore, I should say. We're here at the Pod Plaza. We're talking about animals and ethics. We have somebody who says they are Muslim and they eat halal flesh. So there might be a difference between, being killed in a certain way or another way, but you're still being killed is the fundamental rights violation that we're talking about. So you're still stealing the existence from this animal. They wanted to live and you cut their life short. So that still is unfair to them if you have another choice, regardless of if they do it in a particular way. Would you accept slaughtering dogs and chopping their heads off if they just did it in a particular way, quickly perhaps, without stunning them? Would you accept that? Is halal slaughter of dogs acceptable? Is it justified from the dog's perspective? Somebody says plants are alive too. That is true. I agree with you. But are they sentient? Do they feel? Do they want to live? Do they have a brain? Are they conscious? The answer to all of these questions is no. Plants are alive, but there's a significant difference, vast, from chopping up carrots and chopping up pigs. Pigs feel pain, they scream, they want to live. You can't say the same of carrots. And if you think you can say the same of carrots, provide the evidence. Show your scientific study that demonstrates that plants feel and are sentient in the same capacity as the animals that humans exploit. Show the evidence. Provide the name of the title. But pigs taste awesome. Do you think that the taste pleasure you get from consuming pig's flesh, does it justify everything the pig goes through for the 6 months that they live, and then stealing their life from them at just 6 months into what could have been a 20-year life by putting them in a gas chamber? Do you think your pleasure should cause someone to be put in a gas chamber when you could have just chose something else? Does that sound fair to you? Is that a just arrangement? Somebody says, have you ever had bacon? I absolutely have. I did, because I went vegan about a little over 5 years ago. And before that, I did consume pig flesh. And I did think it tasted nice. But I don't think that the taste pleasure that I was gaining from consuming a part of that animal justifies everything that the animal has to go through for me to consume them. Okay, maybe 1 minute. To all the non-vegans in the chat, put a 1. And to the vegans in the chat, put a 2. I want to get a sense of who's here in the room with us. We're here in Portland, Oregon, across from the Powell's Bookstore here at the Pod Plaza. And I'm asking the non-vegans in the chat here, what's your best argument for using and exploiting other animals? Tell me, what is your justification for exploiting animals in 2026 when we have another option? When we don't need to exploit them anymore? How could we justify it? Name the justification. I'm waiting to see in the chat some arguments. We're not here necessarily to spar with anybody, but we are here to push back against arguments that are used to justify and objectify our non-human kin. Somebody says you cannot, wait, chat moved really quick. There's a lot of you here. I'm trying to adjust the comments, but they're moving fast. Somebody says can't survive on an apple alone. We are not advocating for folks to survive on an apple-only diet. You might survive for a bit, but your quality of life is going to go down. If you consume a variety of plant foods, legumes, grains, fruit, veg, nuts, seeds, if you consume all of these pastas, then you can survive and thrive on a plant-only diet and start living a vegan ethic, which is more consistent. Somebody says I use animals on a daily basis. How?
Just to get it on Instagram is kind of nice because it's right there. You can post it.
I like how you ignore every single argument. I'm not ignoring them, I'm addressing them as I can. None have protein. Do you think soybeans don't have protein? Sincerely, answer the question, do soybeans have protein? And all of the essential amino acids as well. Somebody says we gotta have livestock, we need them. What do we need them for? Is there some nutrient in their flesh that we can't get from plants? If you think so, provide the scientific study that shows there is some nutrient we can't get from plants only. We're waiting for you to provide evidence. We want to see it because we do care about evidence. Soybeans have harmful chemicals as well. They have less of those harmful chemicals than the animal flesh you eat because it accumulates in their flesh when, for instance, animals like cows are fed tons of soybeans to get to slaughter weight. So there's more of it in them, in their flesh.
Is it a video on YouTube or?
To the non-vegans in the chat, put your best argument against veganism and we will address some of them. We're here in Pod Plaza. We're here at the Pod Plaza across from Powell's Books in Portland, Oregon. And we're doing some outreach. We're showing folks some of the footage of what's happening to animals in factory farms and slaughterhouses. And we're having discussions. We're asking folks, is it fair to kill animals or use them in any capacity when we don't need to? Sunflowers are not conscious. When they react to sunlight, that's called a reaction to a stimulus. It's not an example of consciousness or sentience or feeling. Does that make sense? Like when I tap my phone and it responds to my finger, it's responding to a stimulus. And it is intelligent. I can ask all sorts of questions. It has access to the internet and it can do a lot of things. But it's not, my phone doesn't feel. Nobody's right has been violated when I drop my phone on the floor. Does that make sense? Soy is great for us, absolutely.
Soy in men specifically lowers your rate of prostate cancer, and it reduces menopause symptoms for women.
Sure. Do you want to jump in, Withy? Okay.
He was responding, and I was just.
Yeah, I mean it's natural because it's comments. Hey guys. Oh yes, absolutely. We've got someone coming to talk to us. Oh, did you want to talk?
Yeah. Hey.
It's a good documentary, even though it's like dark to watch. So it's resources, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So here you can. There we go. Okay. My name's Rebecca. What's your name?
Chloe.
Jaden. Nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
So, do you think it's right for the more powerful to exploit or oppress the powerless or weak?
No, absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, though.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, if anybody's ever treated you like kind of like you were less than, how does that feel?
Like shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's icky.
Yeah.
I don't like it either. So, what do you think about, like, when we think about animals, how we treat animals in this world? You know, we like force them into slaughterhouses and we use their bodies for all sorts of things. What do you think about that?
I hate it so much. Yeah. I've always wanted to be a vegetarian. I've tried a couple times. I just can't do it because it's so normalized to eat meat. It's just everywhere. And it's also more expensive to be a vegetarian or a vegan. Like anything like that, anything healthy, anything like organic, from the earth, like all of that is just, it's so much more expensive. The world is built to make us unhealthy and sick. And dependent on these preservatives and fillers, and like we're not built for success. This country and this world is just like, I don't want to say this world, I want to mostly just say this country is built to make us sick, to make us sicker, and then make us get more medication,
There's a lot of things that are intertwined.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So okay, so I want to bring it back to, you said that veganism or being vegan and vegetarian is more expensive. So that's actually a myth. It's actually 30% cheaper. But of course, if you go and you buy all of the processed vegan stuff, which it's good, and it's actually better for you to eat that than regular meat that's organic or grass-fed even. Yeah. So the whole term of processed is kind of misleading when it comes to the vegan alternatives, plant-based. But so that's a myth.
Yeah, that's interesting. You just have to know where to shop and where to get it from.
Yeah. But so at the end of the conversation, I'm going to give you some resources about that. But so one thing I want to touch on, though, that you have insight about, okay, so we're in this awful system that perpetuates sickness, and we feel kind of powerless ourselves in this society. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So one thing that we can do to make some change is actually to not buy into the system or put our money towards the system.
Yes.
So is there anything right now that you do that is kind of being a conscientious objector about not putting your money towards something?
I don't go to Starbucks.
Okay.
I try not to shop at Walmart. Personally, no.
Okay, it's all right.
Yeah.
We're all in different places.
That's complete, and I think that's fine. You do you. And also it's a privilege. It is a privilege to be able to choose not to spend your money at a certain place and go somewhere else. For a lot of people, that's just the most accessible. So I try not to go to Starbucks. I try not to go to McDonald's. Those are the big three. I would say it would be Walmart, McDonald's, and Starbucks.
So, okay, you already do that. Now, you could just, if you stopped buying animal products, whether it's food or clothing, different things made from animal, then you actually are really effective. Oh my God. Sorry. Hold on a second. Okay. I really distracted. When you don't buy animal products, it actually makes a direct difference. So, I'm vegan, and shut up.
I'll wait.
I know. I'm sorry. The buzz. So, I save up to between 100 and 300 animals a year by being vegan.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and so I by not doing that, I don't demand another animal to go into the place of one that I've used.
Yeah.
And so it's actually a direct way to make a difference, especially in an animal's life, that they're born into a hell that they didn't choose to be in.
Yeah. It's awful. It's disgusting. And I was in culinary arts in, I want to say 6th grade.
Yeah.
It was middle school, and they showed us the video of I think it's the inside to McDonald's and the processing and everything that the meat goes through.
Yeah.
And just starting at the root of the slaughterhouse and the truth behind it and just how disgusting and awful it is.
Yeah.
And that really sat with me and changed me as a person, truthfully. It's absolutely awful. And I'm so passionate about animals.
Yeah.
I'm very neurodivergent, and that's a hyperfixation for me is animals, and I've always been very passionate about how much I love them.
Yeah.
So it would make sense, and I have been considering going back to vegetarianism at least. I love my cheese and sour cream way too much, so I can never get rid of those, unfortunately.
Well, so okay. The vegan cheese has come a long way. There's actually some really great vegan cheese and vegan sour cream, different things.
That is true. There's been a lot of progress on
the problem with being vegetarian is that the animals still end up going to the slaughterhouse. Mm-hmm. So you may as well not be vegetarian because at a dairy farm,
that's fair.
Once they stop producing, because they're pushed at such capacity to be pregnant over and over and over again. And the male calves, if they're born male, then they go to a veal shed or they're left to die because they're deemed useless. and the female calves go through the same horrible cycle over and
it's
over again
awful.
as mom.
It's
so
inhumane.
and what happens, they're mammals, and so have you ever known anybody who's been pregnant?
Yeah, one of our friends right now is almost 9 months.
So what happens is that sometimes women will get infections in their breasts from overproduction if they don't, get that milk out, mastitis. And so the cows are constantly getting infections. And so
That's why raw milk is so dangerous.
Well, there's a certain amount of pus that is allowed to be in all dairy products, So your cheese, your milk, there's
It's not a vegan cheese, I meant.
Yeah, not a vegan cheese. So there's, and I'm not trying to just
No,
yes,
you're fine. I might have just made me really want to change. So.
Yeah. And so it's just, there's things that you learn once you kind of like start looking into it. And I think especially like you said, you're really sensitive to animals, and you have to ask yourself the question kind of like, well, can I be passionate and love animals and still use their bodies and say that I actually love them?
That one is hard, because I would say that is an argument that you could say yes, because as long as you are appreciating the animal and what it has sacrificed, and that it's been done in a more humane way, rather than raising them from birth to be used for product until they die, like that sounds like there are humane ways to go about it. And then as long as you're like, I'm a very like spiritually in tune person, and a lot of that goes into as long as you are appreciating the animal and its life and using as much of the body as you can, so that none of it is going to waste. So that they died for a purpose. At least that's just kind of what I've been taught, like growing up. So, yeah.
So, okay, I hear where you're coming from. And I know culturally, it's like you're telling, I mean, there were things that I grew up learning. I didn't become vegan until 6 years ago. So I lived most of my life up until, 6 years ago using animals. So I totally understand. It's like we learn different things. But so if you think about it in this way, if somebody kept you like in their basement, okay, but they took really good care of you, but maybe, you had like chains, on, and you weren't allowed to move, or even if you were allowed, like they gave you some sunshine, like in the backyard, maybe just a little bit, but they dictated how they used your body, and then they dictated how you would die, even if they made you a friend.
Yeah, it's awful.
Is that still...
No, it's not that I don't agree that it's all dark and awful, like, because I do, and I want it so bad. It's more so probably a personal like thing, like a block, I want to say, because it's like it's just so normalized and so easy, and like it's just so much. It's honestly like just, I'll be honest, it's harder, and it takes energy and dedication to not do that, because like if you just go to a party and there's like buffalo chicken dip and stuff, like that one specifically because I love that. Like it's just really hard because it's so normal.
Yeah. Well, I think the more that you learn about what the animals go through, like chickens are one of the most used and abused animals worldwide. And they actually are very personable. Like they hug, they will run and play.
I want some of my own chickens.
So, but they're also forced to mass produce.
And like the chicken, like I don't know what warehouses, like. Yeah, I have seen a lot.
Yeah. Well, so okay, I know you probably get going, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But I'm gonna give you some resources. I'll give you both a card. So on one side, it has our name. We're Anti-Animal Use Advocacy, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, and this is on our YouTube channel right now.
Awesome.
On this side has resources, and it also has the video here. It's called Dominion, and it shows the standard practice for what happens to animals for us to use them. That has resources on how to become vegan challenges. It's got vegan mentors.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yeah.
And it's got a link to nutritionfacts.org, so it can show you that like by going vegan, you can actually add like 10 years onto your life.
That's awesome.
Save
I assume
animals.
they probably have like a tracker on like how many animals you've saved through. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
As a suggestion.
Yeah, no, that's cool. We're
Yeah.
actually coming up with a new card soon, so maybe that's a good idea. I like that idea.
Or if you also add, like, if you use a reusable water bottle, like, add, like, what day you started using it and then how many water bottles you saved since then or something like it would just be really cool to be able to see that.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we're focused on the animals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's like,
that
yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
I
Yeah,
totally.
just as another,
No, I like what you're thinking though. And I really appreciate you speaking with me today.
Of
So,
course. And like, is this is YouTube? You said?
yeah, it's on YouTube. So it's on anti-animal use, and it's on the card there. But so, do you think that you'll try to make some changes in your life?
I do. Yeah, this conversation was I feel like I saw the sign and I stopped for a reason, and I am at a really rough point in my life right now, and a lot of things are changing anyway. So I think it would be a really good time for it. So,
well, think about the victims. Think about the animals.
Yes.
You know, and if you would like to be in their place, you know, with what they go through, because it's almost like, you know, like if you were born and then you didn't know a language that everybody was talking and they kept doing things to you and cutting things off of you and killing your family in front. I mean,
it's awful. Yeah.
Putting yourself in their place is a good way to.
I'll definitely be thinking about it a lot
Okay.
more. Thank you
It was
so much.
great
I
to
really
meet you.
appreciate you.
Thank you for stopping.
I'm gonna grab one little mascara, little flick. There you go.
Thank you
Perfect.
so much. Thank you, girlfriend.
Of course. Are you a hugger?
No.
Okay. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. I don't know. Okay, wait. I'm not supposed to talk about things. Yeah. How's everybody doing in the chat? No, I don't like to hug all the time. So, and bacon, you might as well smoke a pack of smokes. It's a carcinogen. So, yeah. Oh, there's some dog barking behind me. We're still in Portland, Oregon, at the Pod Plaza. So, oh, hey, Daniel. Thank you. I tried. Yeah, I just saw him. Yes, my makeup is plant-based. You know, I'm always amazed at the people that like say things like that because like I'm plant-based from head to toe, and so it's like whatever. Yes, I use vegan mascara. I use Elf, and what's the other? Tarte has some really great makeup products. Yeah.
There's a lot of, I was going to say, there's a lot of vegan cosmetics. Like my girlfriend uses, you know, all cruelty-free vegan, and so do I. Like, if you're looking at like skincare, Bioma is a brand. They're like fully cruelty-free and plant-based, and it's really just, it takes 2 extra seconds just to, when you're at the store, just to be like, check ingredients or just check if it's cruelty-free and whatnot. It's really not difficult.
Once you have it down, it's like nothing, you know? So you just move your hand and you save an animal. You move your hand and you don't kill anybody. It's about nonviolence.
Yeah,
so,
well, and once you, I was going to say like Rebecca said, once you know the products you like and and stuff, then it's just about, you just go to the store, buy it, you see it, buy it.
So it's a temporary inconvenience because once you know what foods you like, what makeup brand you buy that's not tested on animals while also not having animal byproducts in them, like you just buy those. They become your standard, and you just live your life. It's not like we're, you know, living some incredibly inconvenient lifestyle. Like we live in a world where we have those options, and they're fairly convenient as well.
yeah, I mean, I can see how it can seem overwhelming because if you're not vegan yet and you have all of these areas, like you're thinking food, clothing, you know, cosmetics or like healthcare products, different things like that, you know. But if you know, start and, you know, you just kind of like look at what you need and you replace them. There's so many products and things nowadays out there that there's really no reason to not be vegan. Because if you're not vegan, you're supporting normalized violence and you're supporting systematic death and abuse and slaughter of innocent sentient beings. So, yeah.
We're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's Bookstore at the Pod Plaza. And we're asking folks about animals and fairness and animal liberation. We have some footage playing of the standard practices in factory farms and slaughterhouses. And we're asking folks, is it justified to use and kill animals in 2026 when we have another option? If you think it is, put your justification in the comments.
Yep. And if you're vegan, put a 1 in the comment. If you're not vegan, put a 2 in the comment.
Somebody says they are ignoring the chats. No, there's just a lot of y'all in here, so we're trying to keep track of everything as it's moving quite quickly.
Other options of what, Mr. Boyle? What are you looking for other options? Because we'll gladly tell you.
Yeah. Whether it's food or clothing or entertainment, there's another option than using animals.
Yep.
You can pick up the bag of soy curls or the can of beans rather than the piece of an animal.
Yeah. And we're not going to reply to everybody when you're all trolls zooming by on the feed because it's pointless because you're all not even saying anything worth responding to.
Hi Pia, I saw you in the comments.
Oh.
Thank you to the vegans who are here.
Yeah.
Keeping the conversation going. Thank you to the non-vegans in the chat as well for being open to a conversation.
Yeah.
Everybody that's here in the room, please continue to double tap the screen and like.
Yep.
Subscribe to Anti-Animal Use if you're interested in seeing these types of conversations in the future.
Yeah.
And post your best argument in the chat comments against veganism so that we can open up this conversation and address some of those right now. What about honey, somebody says?
Honey is bad.
Yeah.
Honey causes the exploitation of bees. Honey is created when a bee eats nectar and regurgitates it, and that is their food. It would take three bees, their whole life to produce a teaspoon of honey, or a teaspoon or a tablespoon, arbitrary amount. The point is, these bees are, they have their wings clipped. They clip the queen bee's wings so that she can't fly. They purposely separate colonies whenever they feel it's necessary for them to do so. So yeah, if you care about the non-exploitation of sentient beings,
why not just choose another sweetener?
That's going to count.
Yeah.
Maple syrup is sitting right there.
Yeah. Black indigenous people of color have been sweetening things without exploiting bees for thousands of years. I mean,
or get some
dates.
dates.
They would do it.
Yeah,
some would do
they're
it
good for
as
you
well.
too.
But yeah, you got dates. So many plants.
Yeah.
Bees are treated that way. Don't tell me that's a lie because that's a fact. So we're all
Somebody
vegan
says,
scared.
so what about the small farms? While we are against factory farms, we're also asking folks, is it okay to use and kill animals who are treated nicely, who might be in a really nice farming system, who maybe they're getting lots of cuddles? Does that make it justified at some point when you've decided they've lived long enough to, does it justify when you decide they've lived long enough to take everything from them? We have some papers flying from some wind, so don't mind us as we're kind of working through this. Somebody says you're anti-ICE too. Yes, I am personally. While we're personally talking about animal liberation here today, I agree with you that the separation of families that happens within cow's milk industry and just milk industries in general, there's a lot of parallels between that injustice and the separation of families that's happening with ICE. So we definitely oppose both of those systems. We believe in the abolition of animal agriculture and the exploitation of other animals, as well as the abolition of ICE and colonial systems that seek to create a binary of who belongs and who doesn't. That's not fair. That's unjust. Somebody says animals are not aware. Would it be acceptable to kill a dog to use their flesh if they were not aware of this situation? If you just shot them in the head, is that okay?
Oh, I just saw somebody say, so you want everybody to go vegan? Honestly, it's not whether or not I want everybody to go vegan or whether this person wants everybody to go vegan. It's the fact that we believe you think you should go vegan.
And the animals.
And that you, the animals believe you should go vegan. If you look at it from, look at it from the perspective of the person who's being oppressed, the victim.
Yes.
they would want you to go vegan. So like that's all we're out
The
here.
pig wants you to leave them alone.
Exactly.
They want you to leave them be.
We're out here to bring light to the idea that these beings were not put on Earth for you to use, despite what some people may say, or despite what justifications people have created and systems people have set up to make us feel like it is okay to use these animals. We are animals. Humans are animals.
Somebody says 34-year slaughterhouse worker here. How does it make you feel when you steal everything from animals, when you slide the knife across their throat? How does it make you feel?
Or is it like in a sense that you don't like doing your job? Maybe people will take advantage of you at your job because they view sentient beings as objects. Therefore, it's just as easy to justify treating you in a terrible condition.
Somebody said God said all animals are for humans' nourishment. Does this mean that it's acceptable to exploit and kill dogs? Is it justified to artificially inseminate dogs, breed them into existence, steal their babies, and kill them a fraction
And
into
then
their lifespan?
forget about food. Like,
is
what's
it fair
your-
to them?
Yeah,
Does
forget
your
it-
God justify that? Does the God excuse hold up for them?
Like, forget about food. Like, what does your God feel about breeding greyhound dogs for racing? Do you feel like that's okay? And all I'm asking you is if you don't think people should breed dogs for racing or use horses for carriage walking in New York because they die in the street from dehydration, you should be vegan because
somebody
if
says-
you care about
yeah.
these animals' feelings and you recognize they feel pain, then what's missing?
Somebody says animals eat other animals. So animals in the wild who are in survival situations, they can find justification to kill others in order to survive. But we're talking about a situation of 2026 where we humans who have access to grocery stores and farmers markets, we're asking, is it fair for them to choose violence when they had a non-violent option? Is it fair to choose the option that exploits another animal when they could have chosen not to?
Oh my gosh. How many times does somebody have to ask about abortion for us to clarify that's not even a vegan topic at all?
Yes, somebody says some animals eat their
Deflecting.
young. This is very true. So if some animals eat their young, we shouldn't copy them. In the same way that if some animals eat other animals, we shouldn't copy them. Sometimes animals perform actions in the wild that aren't moral or that aren't fair to the victim.
When we talk about the word predator and we use it as to describe other humans, do we use it in like with a good connotation or a negative connotation? Like, hey, that dude's a predator. Or are you thinking, oh, he's a macho dude who eats meat? Or are you thinking, that dude likes to take advantage of other people and use them for his pleasure?
Yes. Somebody says some people eat dogs out of necessity. We're not here, we don't have qualms with folks who are trying to survive. But if you're somebody who shops at a grocery store, a farmer's market, if you have access to a Winco, for instance, why would you choose the animal options in the store that cause animals to be exploited and killed when you could have picked up something else? Why not pick up the bag of beans rather than the piece of an animal? You know, the animal had to be chopped up when they wanted to live, a fraction into their lifespan. Why not just pick up the bag of beans? Or the lentils, or the soy curls, or the TVP, or the tempeh?
If you guys were really put in a survival situation, you'd shit your pants.
Somebody says, what about the chickens I raise and the eggs they provide? Where did these chickens come from? Did you purchase them from a breeder? If so, for each female bird that you objectified and purchased, their male counterpart, because there's about 50-50, they were shredded in a blender. In addition, the female who you use in your backyard, the female birds that you do use, that you did objectify and purchase, they have been selectively bred across generations to produce about an egg a day when their ancestor would produce about an egg a month.
Just taking
the inherent exploitation, the inherent suffering is still built in from your backyard system.
Just taking a moment to thank the vegans in the chat. I saw Vegan Heretic in there, at least fly by. Thank you.
Why force a bird
See
to
Daniel,
push out an
thank
egg
you.
every day for your pleasure?
This is pretty much everyone.
Sorry, I did that.
Yeah, I was saying that Friday might be tricky for me, but I ended up.
Somebody says we can't change the past, so take advantage of the present. What does that mean? Explain the relevance of that. To anybody who's joined more recently, we're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Pod Plaza. We're at Pod Plaza, across from Powell's Books, excuse me. And we're asking folks about animal liberation. We're asking about animals, fairness. Do you think it's fair to use animals when we have other options? If you do think it's fair, provide your justification in the comment section. Thank you to the vegans for being here. Thank you to the mods. If you're one of the vegans or one of the mods, put a 1 in the chat. Or if you're a non-vegan, put a 2 in the chat. I want to get a sense of who's all in the room with us now. Somebody says, you keep saying they're suffering, but you haven't explained why it's wrong. Do you think it's wrong for us to cause a dog to suffer when we don't need to? Do you think it's wrong to cause humans to suffer when you don't need to? I, for one, think suffering, exploitation, killing, these are not things that we should perpetrate on somebody else if we don't need to. Why would we do that? That seems unjust. I'm seeing a lot of non-vegans in the chat, and I'm asking you to present your best argument against veganism or your biggest personal obstacle to going vegan yourself so that we can open up this discussion about animals and humans, and we can talk about the ethics of this. Somebody says cool glasses, thank you. I know they get a lot of attention on here from some of the trolls. Somebody says meat is delicious. Do you think the pleasure that you gain from consuming the animal's flesh, does it justify everything the animal goes through? Would you use pleasure as a justification for violence against dogs? Somebody says the bag of beans was alive too. There's a difference between harvesting beans and running over dogs. Or there's a difference between chopping a pig's head off and harvesting some beans. The beans didn't want to live, they didn't scream, they weren't sentient, they didn't have a brain, a central nervous system, and they didn't suffer. So there's a massive difference. Somebody says, why is there a difference? Because the celery doesn't suffer, but the dog does. If you really had a choice between chopping up celery and chopping a dog's head off, what would you do? Be real, come on now. To all the non-vegans, post your best argument against veganism in the chat. Somebody says, have you ever grown your own food? I don't have a lot of experience with it yet, but I am interested as I have the opportunity. So somebody says, nobody is eating dogs here, goofball. I understand that most folks are not eating dogs. I'm asking about dogs to test the consistency of the folks' ethical system who are in the comment section. Do you think it's consistent and ethical to exploit dogs but not exploit pigs but not dogs, excuse me? Why would it be justified for the dog or the pig? Like, what's the difference between the animals? What's the difference within the dog and within the pig that makes it okay to kill the pig but not okay to kill the dog? Somebody says humans are omnivores. That just means that we have a choice to make. We can choose an omnivore diet or a plant-only diet, and we can thrive on both. If we could thrive either way, why wouldn't we choose the plant diet that spares animals from being exploited and used on our behalf? Why not treat other animals as the sentient beings, as our animal kin that they are, and respect them rather than use them as objects and deny their consciousness and deny their autonomy? It says pigs are as smart as dogs, but dogs don't taste good. If you found out the dogs tasted even better than pigs, let's say you did a blind taste test and you thought the pig flesh tasted better, or excuse me, you thought the dog flesh tasted better than the pig flesh, would that make it okay to kill the dog just because of the taste pleasure? Just because of the yummy sensation on your tongue? Or do you think that the dog's life matters more than that sensory experience, more than that little 10 minutes of pleasure that you got out of the situation? Somebody says, how did cavemen survive? They did it by doing whatever they needed to survive. We're asking folks who shop at grocery stores and farmers markets who have choices about which choice is most ethical and which is best from the animal's perspective, and which ones allow us to relate to other animals as kin, as sentient beings who we respect, rather than objects for our use. Somebody says, you will not get essential minerals and vitamins. Provide the name of the scientific study in the chat comments that shows that you can't get all the essential nutrients and vitamins from a plant-only diet. We're waiting for evidence, we just haven't seen it yet. So please do provide. I'll switch off soon, yeah.
All right, guys, the bus is
Okay.
Somebody says plants suffer too. Prove it. We really do want to see that evidence. But let's steelman your argument. For everybody just tuning in, we're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's Bookstore at Pod Plaza. But I want to steelman your argument. Even if plants do suffer, let's say they feel pain just like pigs, there are more plants suffering. There are more plants suffering and being used to support the omnivore food system than a plant-only food system because of the immense amount of plants that are fed to the animals that you use. So if you want to reduce plant deaths and plant suffering, if you believe it's a thing, the thing to do is to consume the plants directly, because you'll minimize it to the fullest extent. Does that make sense? Okay, we're here in Portland, Oregon, and we're asking folks, is it fair, is it justified to use and kill other animals in 2026? Thank you to all the vegans here and the mods. I see all of y'all. You're doing a lot of hard work. I know there's a lot of folks here in the chat, some trolls. Thank you for responding to them. Somebody says it's fair and justifiable. Okay, explain why. Name the justification if you think so. We want to hear it. We're trying to open up this conversation. We're not here necessarily to judge anybody who's not vegan, but we are here to interrogate the reasons that they're using to oppress and use other animals. So while we might argue against those, we're not necessarily here to clash with anybody. We're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's Bookstore. Somebody says cows is the justification. What makes it acceptable to use and kill a cow that differentiates them from dogs? Somebody says justification is a healthy society. Do you have any evidence that using animals is necessary to have a healthy society? If you do, provide the name of the scientific study in the chat. Again, we're still waiting. We have a lot of folks here in the chat. I'm trying to answer some of the questions as they come up.
Yes. All right. Alrighty. Private property is my justification? Brother, you said, I marked off this land so I can do whatever I want on this land. It doesn't matter who I kill. It doesn't matter who I eat. All that matters is that it's my land. That's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy. I've posted 3 studies so far. Hopefully they're accurate studies. Can't see them.
I'm scared.
Oh, my hair is crazy. Thank you. I love that. Crazy is that hair. Yes, thank you.
Crazy beautiful.
Why is there a difference between plants and animals, but you don't recognize the different that humans are made in that? Dude, it doesn't matter who has told you that you can do this thing or these people are here for you or not. What is your lived experience? Like, I'm talking about when you are alone with a dog or a cat that you take care of, right? Do you feel the need to maybe like cut them up and eat them, or like, or maybe you might. You know what? Maybe let's go with the scenario where you start thinking about, end of life situations. Like, or we're in survival now. Like, the world has ended. Like, am I going to eat my dog? And you seriously and you're like, no. Or at least I would hope you wouldn't eat your dog, right? Because you would want to try to find other ways first, or maybe it would be a last resort. You'd be like, oh, it's a last resort. So you got to stop acting like you see animals as so different when you don't. You do understand that animals are the same as us. You understand that they feel pain and that they care about what happens to them. I'm not working because it's my day off. It's called a weekend. Hot sauce and dog is okay. I mean, like, as okay as any, like, hot sauce and baby. Like, this is a sentient being who wanted to live. Pets and food are different. They're actually the same classification of animal. They're thrown in the same category, so that doesn't make any sense. That high-pitched voice in front of that statue is crazy. Like, what does that even mean, bro? Y'all just spout nonsense. Y'all don't even make no sense. How about talk about veganism, or what veganism means to you, or what have you heard about veganism? What qualms do you have with veganism that keep you from going vegan? What's stopping you from maybe decolonizing your perspective on veganism, and thinking about the idea that vegan movement so far may not be like what you agree with, but join the movement and fix it, or do it the right way. People say, oh, you're vegan, but you are eating I don't know, you're vegan but you drive a car. That's used a lot. There's a lot of them, but it doesn't matter. You can be a vegan and a hypocrite, or you can be a vegan and doing things correctly, living by your values, making sure that nobody's exploited for your purpose or your benefit. It's really that simple. Vegans are always smug people. That's not very true. I've actually met some vegans who are not smug at all. They may get smug when talking about and defending the rights of animals, and people are being trolls in the comments.
They're
and
judged
not caring.
as smug. They're passionate. That's not a fair characterization.
Being passionate about, exactly. Being passionate about being anti-exploitation of other beings. Answer my comment. I'm sorry. The only thing I can see that you sent is answer my comment. I'm vegan. If I seem smug, it's because y'all are pissing me off. It's not because that's just like normally how I am. It's because people are saying things that literally make no sense. You have people who are defending the slaughter and the murder of billions of animals a year. Like, this is not a fun topic to talk about or think about. And I think about it all week, right? So then I come to this live, right? And I'm trying to talk to people, have some conversational, don't change it. Wait, what? I don't even care. But you try to come out, we end up coming out here and trying to talk about the injustices that are happening to animals everywhere, including human animals. But
somebody says our ancestors hunted for survival.
Especially the most marginalized animals. It gets frustrating to see people clown in the comments and troll because these are real living beings that we care about and that we claim to care about as humans. So why are we treating them in this way? It makes no sense. Someone said, hold on, yes, Massa, I'll be vegan and go on the TV for ya. That is not what's happening here. If you want to believe that people of color can only care about veganism or care about the anti-exploitation of other animals because a white person said so, or because a white person set up that framework, you're operating from a mindset of veganism being this thing that's based on white saviorism or a saviorism complex, and it's not that at all. You're actually just very misinformed about the original, foundation of veganism, and the idea that veganism, just because the definition is created at a certain amount of time or a certain year, right? It doesn't mean that this idea of anti-exploitation and non-using of other sentient beings just was created at the same time as that definition was made, right? Ever since humans were on Earth or have, conceived thought, right? There's been humans who have chosen to not use animals and to not kill and to be very compassionate and lead lives with thought and care about the balance, the actual real balance of nature. So you can't don't call in here making me look out to be like a slave who's just on here because somebody told me and I'm following whatever other people believe, right? It's just the fact that sentient beings deserve to live without the exploitation, being subject to the exploitation of another human being or another sentient being. It just makes no sense. Yeah, it really is that. I had to wake up to that reality.
Can we take over?
If you want, I don't mind. These people are interesting. There's no valid argument that supports the claim eating meat is immoral. If you're a Christian, then eating meat is good. If you're secular, then truth is not objective and we can do whatever we want. The point is you're using somebody else, you're using a philosophy to and religion to justify the use of other beings, right? So if you're going to do that, right, you should have some other justifications as well to back it up, because otherwise it just sounds like you're saying this person said it and wrote it in a book that I could, so I'm going to continue to do so, and I'm going to fail to reevaluate my life and the conditions of society around me and grow past what maybe they had to do at a certain time, or following some arbitrary thing. My religion is the basis for my entire worldview. I think there might be issues with that. Personally, cannot be a vegan.
Here, take over for a second.
Okay.
Hello to everyone. We're here in Portland, Oregon, across from Powell's Books here at Pod Plaza. And we're asking folks about animals and liberation and fairness. Do you think it's fair to use other animals when we have another option? To the non-vegans in the chat, put a 1 in the comments. Put a 1 in the comment if you're a non-vegan, and put a 2 in the chat if you're a vegan. I want to get a sense of who's here in the room. And also to everyone here, provide your best argument against veganism in the chat, and we'll address some of those now. Somebody says, I love meat. Does the pleasure and the enjoyment you get out of consuming somebody's body, does it justify stealing everything from them when you could have ate something else? Somebody says gas isn't vegan. What animal or animal byproduct is within gas? Please explain. I would like to know. Somebody says natural selection. How does that relate to the conversation? Please elaborate. Thank you to all the vegans who are here. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the mods. To the non-vegans, I see a lot of you are here. So let's see what you think is a good justification for objectifying other animals and rejecting them, rejecting their autonomy. What do you think is a good justification to exploit and use them? Ethical Herbivore says there's no logical argument against veganism. They said something to that effect. It moved quite quickly. I agree with you. Somebody says, are you using meta glasses? No, these are just glasses so that I can see. Somebody says Trump 2028. We definitely are not supportive of Trump and the MAGA movement broadly here. We oppose human exploitation, human oppression, which is rampant in that administration. Somebody says... You do that?
Nope.
Me? Hello.
Okay.
So what's your name?
My name is Christopher.
Nice to meet you, Christopher. I'm Cooper. Okay. We're talking to folks about animals.
Okay.
Can I have you step like just a touch in? There, now you're perfectly in frame if you can see. There we go. We're talking to folks about animals. I want to ask you, what do you think about animals in general?
They're fucking awesome.
Fucking awesome.
That's probably the most blunt thing I can come up with. I got a few dogs at home, and they're basically like, close to them as close as I can get, like close as humans, basically.
Right. I'm similar with my cat at home. I wonder, like, with that time that you spend with your dogs and you caring for them, what do you learn about their abilities and their capacities as an animal?
They got feelings just like us. They're smarter than you think. And you can really tell when they got to go potty. That kind of stuff.
They'll let you know?
Yes, they will definitely let you know.
Yes, they communicate, they have feelings. I wonder, do you think that animals like fish or pigs, do you think they share this capacity to have feelings and to suffer?
Yeah, just 99.9% of them, depending on like brain size, nervous systems, and all that. But I would say stuff as little as your feeder goldfish probably got some sort of feelings going on in there and all that.
Right. I wonder, do you think, as people who live in 2026, do you think there's anything that us humans need from animals for maybe like clothing or entertainment or food? Or do you think we have alternatives in 2026?
The only thing I would say is food occasionally, but clothing, no. Just buy something made of cotton or whatever and all that other stuff, no.
Yeah, there's so many options.
The occasional food. I know that might kind of be a little crazy here, but just that really.
I wonder in your mind, so you have another option with the clothes, so you think it's better to choose that one.
Yeah.
Do you think you have a similar sort of choice within the realm of food? Do you think that there are other choices at, for instance, your grocery store?
Right.
What do you think?
It depends. I've tried some vegan and vegetarian stuff and wasn't a fan of like meat alternatives, but I don't eat a lot of meat in the first place because I got IBS.
Oh, I see.
But I do like my dairy stuff, so that's probably where it gets a little like bad at and all that. Really depends, but I'm eating a lot of like oatmeal, corn, mashed potatoes, a lot of stuff that's easy to get through the digestive system when you got IBS and all that.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good, brother.
Yeah. So like maybe you don't like the meat alternatives as much, and a lot of us don't. I wonder, do you think if you got just like whole foods, do you think there's just enough plants, like plants only, like maybe lentils and beans and tofu, tempeh, grains, beans, rice? Do you think that there's enough plants at the grocery store that we could choose those and thrive as, like, have our bodies thrive? Do you think it's possible?
You know what? Yeah. If I was more used to that too as a child and got introduced to that growing up, I would probably be way more open to it. Because right now I'm like, I don't know. But it is possible to start it like on our next generations and our kids' kids, and all that, and you know, get this world to stop being so evil to fucking, you know, animals and even people, dude. So it's just like depends on how you grow up and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, I hear you. So I wonder if you know that these animals, they have these feelings and they suffer, and you know, through thinking about it right here, we're kind of thinking that there might be another choice at the grocery store. If we know they feel and they suffer and we have another choice, do you think we can justify as humans using or killing them anymore?
Only in emergency situations like the apocalypse.
Only in emergency. Yeah, I'm with you there. There's a lot of things that could go down in that situation, which you and I wouldn't do today.
That's not happening right now.
It's not our situation right now. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
that's a bit probably out of my realm too, a little out of my education and all that, because, you know, I don't know everything. I still got to research. I'm not perfect and all that. So it really depends. Plus, honestly, you got me after I had an edible. I'm a little stoned at the moment.
I'm actually a little as well. But I wonder, have you, because we hear a lot of misconceptions in our culture, but this word vegan, what does it mean to you?
But being vegan?
Yeah.
You have your choice to do that, man. And
what do you think it means?
Probably you see the animals more, you got compassion and all that kind of stuff. It's making it so you don't have to, you know, what we eat feels just like our cats and dogs. Pigs got feelings, cows got feelings, chicken got feelings and all that kind of stuff. So it just like, if we can get our society used to that, then I think we can make something happen in the future, but maybe not just immediately, because sadly there are going to be people who eat meat no matter what.
Yeah.
My
there
thing,
people who don't change, but we're trying to talk to like the folks, like, you know, within our conversations, because we can't change the world, but
I
know,
try
one-on-one.
to get it more, when I do get meat though, I do get the most humanely ones I can find, or like pasteurized egg and stuff. I don't go and buy the cheapest stuff that's in places like what you're showing on your TV and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And
I wonder, like, if you think about those animals who were raised in that farming system, maybe it's not the factory, right?
Right.
Do you think it makes it more fair if we give them a good life, if we take it away from them when we don't need to?
Wait until they die, if anything. Like, if it's really like that. Taking a life early, I was never a fan of. That's why I kind of never wanted to, like, work on farms or see them in the first place, because you are taking their life early just so you can eat something.
I wonder, like, would you have, because you talked about dogs a little bit earlier, if you let them live their full life, do you generally support people eating them afterwards, or do you think that we should respect their bodies and just maybe bury them or cremate them? What do you think?
Here, respect them, but I do, whatever other cultures do, that's what they do, and I'm not sure. I don't have the education on that and all that, because it does kind of start to get biased when you do cats, dogs, and house pets, and even horses. It does kind of like, it's like they get a different, what's the word?
It's like it's arbitrary.
Yeah, because it's like
an arbitrary distinction.
Right.
We call it a word like speciesism.
Right.
We kind of make these distinctions. We say, it's maybe not okay to use the dog, but it is okay to use the pig.
Right.
But we're asking, what's the difference between the animals?
Exactly.
That makes it
and
okay.
There is necessarily no difference besides one's raised in the farm and one's raised to be your best friend.
Right. But do you think they suffer the same? They want to live the same, regardless?
Oh, hell, everyone wants to live, dude. Every species that's alive wants to live. It's just as bad as us humans want to live and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, I'm not perfect, man. I mean, like, I had meat for breakfast this morning, dude. But it's, I think it just depends on what we can teach our future generations, because people are so set in their ways.
Yeah,
that
I hear you.
It probably will be a little too hard, but teaching it to children, grandson, generations on, we might be able to get something to make this world more humane. My big thing, not related to this, is climate change. That's where I get really like passionate about and all that kind of stuff. Because the summers here, very hot.
I hear you.
It was not like that 20 years ago. Anyways.
I asked about the definition of veganism a little bit back, and I want to offer you kind of what we define it as.
Okay.
We define it as like a principle against using other animals wherever we have that choice.
Right.
So like, rather than go to the zoo, we'll watch the nature documentary. Rather than buy the wool coat or the leather jacket, we'll buy the cotton one.
Exactly, dude.
Right.
Get a flannel, I mean, get this.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still going to have clothes on, dude.
And I know it's it's kind of hard and you want to kind of think about future generations, but do you think that that principle in the here and now with you and your own actions, do you think it aligns with your own principles, saying, I'm not going to use an animal if I don't need to. I'm going to let them be.
As much as I can.
Yeah.
It'll be hard for me to stop like eating them and all that kind of stuff, but I do try my best not to wear them.
Do you think
do anything like, stuff that's not eating it.
Do you think you're doing as much as you can? I'm going to push back just a touch.
Yeah.
Do you think you're doing as much as you can when you acknowledge that at the grocery store you could have picked up something else? Like you have that option available to you every day.
Yeah.
I wonder what stops you from saying, okay, next time I go, I'm just going to buy plant only and I'm going to see where this takes me. I'm going to take my first step towards respecting other animals the same way I respect dogs. What would stop you?
Being a picky eater. Man, like to be blunt, I do like the taste of like some meat, but I try to get it. We have a couple friends who have farms, so I try to get it as humanely as it is, but then you were talking about they're still dying early. They're not living their whole lives and all that kind of stuff. So it's I think that question I'd have to think really hard about and answer on that.
Do you think that because when we talk about something tasting good, we're usually talking about like a type of enjoyment, maybe a type of pleasure.
Right.
Do you think that when we get pleasure out of eating an animal, do you think it justifies everything that happens to them and having to take their life from them?
No, especially with those evil factories right there. I would say the humane things, I could probably get why we're eating eggs and all that stuff, but killing animals early just so you can eat them, it does kind of bother me a little bit.
Are you familiar with the selective breeding in the egg industry? It's not something that most of us know about.
No.
So the ancestors of the birds who are laying eggs today, they laid about an egg every month. But the chickens that we've selectively bred by breeding together the two individuals who lay more over and over again through generations, they lay about an egg every day.
Which is
so
not natural.
It's so hard on their body to form that inside them and push it out every day on our behalf.
Right.
And this does happen regardless of the farming system because it's like the standard egg-laying bird in this modern age has been produced in such a way that it's inherently there's inherent suffering within their existence.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons that vegans boycott eggs. But the other one is that, well, there's actually two more. When they're breeding the chickens in the egg industry, they're only wanting the birds that are going to produce the eggs.
Right.
So half of the population, the males that never will,
they're done. They're killed. That's it.
They're put on a conveyor belt into a blender.
Yep, the chicks.
300 million birds in the U.S.
Crazy,
every
dude.
year.
Like,
can you believe it?
Yeah. It's like, what if we were doing that to dogs, cats, and all that kind of stuff? They don't think about it because it's a different animal.
Right.
And all that stuff.
And then the third layer of cruelty in the egg industry, just to hammer it home a little bit, is that about 1 to 2 years into their lives, their egg production starts to go down.
Oh.
So what happens, they might live 7-10 years, but the farmers will actually kill them at about 18 months old just because they want to put a new bird into the system who will produce more. Yeah, it's all about that profit.
Everyone wants that money. I'm like, dude, why can't you be happy with, just making enough to live and all that kind of stuff? It's just these people want more and more and more, and they serve their selfishness, and they're literal sociopaths and psychopaths because they don't got feelings for that kind of stuff. They're just like, give me my big paycheck.
We're asking folks here, because we are against the systems and we're advocating against those on other days, but here we're more one-on-one. We're asking folks, do you think that we should continue giving them our money so that they could do this to animals
Not the bad
for
companies.
us?
Not the bad companies. Only the good local farms I believe in, but not the bad people who do it by the millions or even hundreds of thousands and all that. If anything, raise your own, dude. Get your own eggs from your own chicken. And we weren't eating them every day 100 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder, so the dog is really happy, right?
Right.
And they get to the end of their life. Let's say they live a long, happy life. You said you wouldn't personally eat them once they die.
No.
Why do you think it's acceptable? Because right now the pigs aren't living a long life. They're killed at about 6 months into a 20-year life.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty horrific.
You learn something new every day, guys.
But let's, with the dogs, let's say they get to the very end and you wouldn't eat them still. But why would you eat the pig? Why would you eat the cow? What do you think?
Because we were raised like that as a society, and we're so used to it that
it's normalized, right?
Exactly, it's normalized, and I'm selfish as that. My family's selfish as that.
But is it fair, do you think, just because it's normal?
Oh no, absolutely not. It's just really hard to think about it like that perspective, and to change it'd probably take more than overnight and all that kind of stuff. But I do try to do my own research on that, and it does seem like we do have that bias. I remember this little poster I'd seen where it had, where do you cross the line at? And it had the cat, the dog, and a few other house pets, and there's this line. Then it showed farm animals where we can eat them.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So right now, there's on this side of the line, the dogs and the cats, you refuse. You won't give people money to chop their heads off.
Exactly.
When you go to the grocery store next time, will you give those people money to continue chopping pigs' heads off?
Well, I don't buy meat at the grocery store.
Oh,
I
you
get
don't?
it from a farm.
But every farm has to chop their head off, right?
Yeah, they do.
So
That's how
would
they
you
get it.
continue giving those farms your money so they continue doing this? They continue killing the pigs in a situation where they don't need to be killed for you?
As least as I can until I get used to it, definitely.
Yeah.
Can't stop overnight, but it does make me think. It is very thought-provoking and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I appreciate you.
Oh, no problem.
I appreciate your time here.
Right.
Would you be? I wonder if you witnessed, maybe not with your own eyes, but through footage. You maybe saw a little bit here, but if you watched a documentary and it showed the standard practices of the slaughterhouses that all animals go to, regardless of the farming system. I wonder, do you think if you saw it, would that encourage you not to participate in it?
I've already seen it in high school. I don't want to watch it again.
Why don't you want to watch it?
It's disturbing. Like I said, that's why I go to the local farms, because.
But those
with that
animals
kind of
still
stuff-
got to be slaughtered, right?
Yes, they do.
Right.
But it's not how it was, being slaughtered by machines and all that kind of stuff. That is evil. But I also come from a Native American heritage, so it's a little bit different. And there are some meats that we
can survive.
Yes, but now it's just about let's get this guy his double quarter pounder.
Do you
or something
think
like
you could choose a bag of beans or a can of beans or some lentils or some soy curls rather than pay for the pig or the cow to have their head chopped off, even if they lived a happy life? Do you think you could make that choice?
It's been easy for me because, really silly example, I only like bean and cheese burritos. I know there's fucking cheese in there. Oops. But it's not getting that meat and all that kind of stuff. So there are plenty of things that I like to eat that don't got meat.
Oh, I'm sure there's so many. Like for me, I didn't realize I'm like fries and like tacos.
Exactly.
And I eat all the same things. I just do a little swap.
Right. So you get it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just it won't take overnight. It'll take a little bit of time to make a decision like that. But I've actually kind of been doing that in the background. Something like this is what got me to switch from, because one step at a time, grocery store meats to local farms and all that kind of stuff. Because it may cost more, but it's raised better than how they were, even though, yes, they're still slaughtered. And it's.
I think it's fair to still slaughter them if we could have chose the can of beans instead.
Depends on the culture.
Do you think, like from the animal's perspective, do you think it's fair when they're sitting there, maybe they want to live, and then a knife is dragged across their throat? From their perspective, could it be fair if we didn't need to?
Oh, absolutely. And I hope that we're able to do that as a society in a couple generations from now, because it would take a lot to make everyone change. Instead of, if we go one by one a little too slow, it will probably not show a message, and we got to give a message as a society to kind of do that.
Yeah.
So it gets a little hard to answer that and all that kind of stuff.
So just to kind of wrap it up, would you be interested, or could I give you a card that shows you some of that footage, even though I know you maybe don't want to watch it?
No, I'm going to say no to that.
Okay.
And we both know I don't want to watch that and all that kind of stuff. I'm good. I got BPD also, so it just might kind of make me get a little crazy and all that. But it is.
I want to ask a challenging question. If animals are having this process happen to them, even if they lived a good life, they still end up at that slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Like if they're having this happen to them because of some of your choices, do you think it's fair for you to continue to make it happen to them and not even witness what's happening, what you're causing to happen to them?
That's something I would ask a lot of other people and get to myself later on that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But of
I know
course
there's some hard questions I'm leaving you with, but would you? So this card doesn't only have the very graphic footage. It also has some other resources that get at that food question that you're talking about. Like, oh, what are some convenient swaps that I can make that are affordable?
Exactly.
It has all that information as well. Would you take that card?
Yeah, I'll take that card. I just don't want to see any crazy shit to be on that.
Okay.
Wow. I eat an edible and I'm in an interview now. I'm not hallucinating, am I?
No, you're doing great, and you've been honest, and I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, it's all about honesty, because we can't stop doing that overnight, but we can change as fast as we can.
So this card, it links to a bunch of resources.
Okay.
It's not just Dominion. Okay. We do encourage people to watch it, even if it's a hard watch sometimes. I know what you're saying, but it's happening because of you. Exactly. Do you think it should continue to happen for you if you're not even willing to witness what's happening because of you?
Everyone should have to probably at least watch it at least once.
Right.
I think they are starting to do that, because I've seen that I forgot, it was either 9th or 10th grade. So I think with more education like that, people will kind of open up their eyes a little bit more and be able to eat better, because we're so advanced in technology that I'm pretty sure within 30 years, instead of meat substitutes, we can make stuff taste like meat if people really, really want that. Okay. I mean, artificial flavoring, I wonder if they're just not doing that because the industry is so rich. If they can do fruit artificial flavors, fruit artificial for this, pretty sure they can do it for meat.
Oh, yeah. There's just not a lot of energy and money being put into those technologies.
Right.
I want to ask 2 really quick questions and then we'll be done.
Okay.
How many animals would you prefer in the future are exploited and killed for you?
Close to 0 is like possible.
Do you think living vegan would be in alignment with that?
Maybe vegetarian, to be honest. Vegan is going a little too hard for me just because I am a picky eater and all that, but...
right. But with the egg industry,
Right.
did that sound much different than the meat industries when I described
No,
it to
not
you?
at all.
It's
'Cause
the
you
same
still-
thing with
yeah,
cow's
you could-
milk.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
They're the same type of cruelty. They're the same type
Taking
of
their babies
exploitation.
away so we can drink their milk.
Every animal who enters any of those industries is killed a fraction of their
Exactly.
lifespan.
Exactly.
So,
Got to spread the word more, brother.
Right.
It's a good thing you're out here.
right. But I do want to say one thing before I leave you.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to start with vegetarian in some sense because the animals in the egg and milk industries,
still-
they're kept alive longer, they're
Right.
suffering longer, and they're
Right.
still killed a fraction
And you're
of
still
their
hurting
lifespan.
someone when you're thinking you're doing, oh, I'm vegetarian now, but nope, there's still
kinda
more to
lip-
go.
It's kind of lip service to those animals who are
Right.
still being exploited.
Right. So
I
you get
appreciate
it.
your time a lot.
Yeah, no problem. You
Yeah.
guys too. It's always nice having an honest conversation and all that. And I'm glad I was able to give you honest stuff instead of bullshit. No, I'll stop tomorrow and all that kind of stuff because that's not going to happen. But I'll finish with the thing I said a couple times. If we can teach our children and our children's children and show it more, I think maybe as soon as possible we can make it more acceptable to have foods that we don't need to exploit things for, including nature itself.
Absolutely. We need to evolve in that direction. And I'll leave you just with saying, don't count yourself out too
Right.
soon.
Right.
You might witness something. You might learn something. You might learn something about the cow's milk industry that makes you say, I need to start with boycotting cow's milk.
Exactly.
And then it might be the worst of the industries. So I appreciate your time here.
Yeah, no problem.
And I'll encourage you to watch that documentary. If not that one of the other resources on there.
Okay.
There's so much information.
Right,
and
right.
thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Y'all take care, okay? Nice to
Okay.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm going to go to Palestine.
Free Palestine, yes. All right, I'll hand off to somebody.
God, even though I'm holding the TV. Drag the cord this way. Hey guys, I'm wearing the mask too. Oh, that's all right. Hey guys, so I'm wearing the TV right now. This is just what we're showing. So right now it's the chickens. We'll let the siren go by. That was nice. You turned it off for a second. So you should go vegan for the animals. They can suffer just like your dog, your cat, any companion animal. It's really good to see you all in here. If you're vegan, type 1. If you're not vegan, type 2. I would love to know what kind of layout do we have here today. It's really good to see y'all. I'm really proud to see so many people curious about this topic. Oh, Nico, there's actually plant-based dog foods. You should check them out. There's a lot of different ones. There's even plant-based foods for cats. Okay, so we've got a spread here. All right, cool. So if you put a 2 or anything other than a 1, can you tell us why you are not vegan? And if you put a 1, can you tell the audience why you are vegan? Keep it short, really simple. The chat might fly by. So you can watch the TV. I don't know if the live will get messed up from it though. This is from a documentary called Dominion. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like that. So what we're seeing right here, so next is going to be the pigs. If you use pigs, you should probably watch this. This is Dominion 2018. Just show standard practice. You know, what's crazy is like you have to put warnings for people to see this film. If I put clips up of it, it gets censored. Do you think that people censor picking fruit, processing crops? Does watching plants go through a system make you cringe or hide your eyes, make you sick when you see it? No. Why is it when we see animals being exploited that, you know, it's okay to ignore this feeling that we get? Yeah, non-vegans make me cringe too. Plants are alive, but they're not sentient, right? They don't have a brain or central nervous system. Awesome, I see you, David. Go check out the 40-year-old vegan. Amazing activist. Goes out in front of slaughterhouses and such. He's really great. Go check him out. Hi, Pia. I see you again. Chase is in there. Go check out Chase. Chase is a great activist. Also check out Pia for the Animals. I actually haven't seen Pia's posts lately, so I don't know if I know the most recent content from their account, but go check them all out. All the people that had typed 1, you should definitely go see their content. Why are they vegan? Me.
Doing a social experiment.
Plants are not self-aware. They are alive, but they are not aware. They're not sentient. They don't have a brain or central nervous system, which is essential for expressing sentience. Yeah, does this actually make you comfortable? What if these were dogs? Is it okay to shove dogs into tight spaces together to the point where they cannibalize each other? They're covered in dirt. Pigs don't like to be dirty. They like to be clean. They're clean individuals. They like decorate their spaces that they like to sleep in. They'll decorate them with flowers. They also will stun the pigs, as you can see right now, in gas chambers. Can you believe that? Would you put a dog in a gas chamber? Yeah, even small farms. It doesn't matter how big the farm is. The issue is that we're viewing a someone as a something. We're viewing an individual as an object to be used. That's the issue. And on small farms, they still have their life taken from them. And what they prefer is not considered. Yeah, why pay for this? Who feels comfortable paying for this? They're struggling. They're suffocating. Yes, but so here's the difference. If I look at the sun and my eyes water, that's a response to stimuli. If I decide to take my hand and cover my eyes from the sun, that's me making a choice because I made a preference that I don't like the sun in my eyes, and I'm going to change my next experience so that I'm comfortable. That's what we're talking about. Other animals are the same way. We are animals. We're all the same. That's all we're trying to say. Do you enjoy paying for this? Do you feel comfortable that you give your money to these people? Is that fair? If it's so humane, again, why don't we send our companion animals to there to be treated just like this? It's because we know it hurts and we know it's scary. They're writhing in pain right now. If you didn't need to, would you eat a dog? Because if I needed to, I would eat a human baby.
Somebody says, I'm completely comfortable. What about the other beings' comfortability with you eating them? They run away.
It's not about your comfort. It's about their comfort, their experiences. Obviously, as the oppressor, of course you're going to have benefits. Of course you're going to enjoy using them. But the problem is you have a victim. What does your victim think? Do they like being used? Are you considering their consent? Is it fair to treat others as objects for optional things? Yeah, you can be vegan any stage of life. You can get everything you need. There's nothing you need from animals. We're doing this for pleasure, entertainment, maybe tradition, right? We don't need to do it anymore. They care about what happens to themselves. Why don't we respect that? Who would you respect? If there was someone kicking a dog, who would you respect? Would you defend the victim? Or do you think the oppressor is having a great time? Who would you support? Who is moral in that situation? The person satisfying their urges and needs, or the animal? Who's more important? The other animal. So when you say livestock, you're basically just saying slaves, like chattel slavery. You don't care that they suffer. You just care that you get pleasure from their body, and you're doing it without consent. You're using someone's body for your pleasure without their consent. Slaves don't have to be humans, but animals are people. So if what you're saying, slaves can only be people, then animals are still slaves. They're people. They care about what happens to themselves. They're sentient. Animals are a person. Just because our definitions are speciesist doesn't mean that they aren't a person. Speciesism is similar in logic to a racist or a sexist or a homophobic person, right? You're using some arbitrary trait to justify exploiting someone to death or just exploiting them, being harmful to them for no good reason. I'm saying that for the same reasons it was wrong to enslave other humans, it's wrong to enslave other animals. That's what I'm saying. Am I saying slaves are animals? All humans are animals. What's the good reason? Abortion is not exploitation. Exploitation is using someone unfairly for your benefit. It has nothing to do with veganism. There are both pro-life and pro-choice vegans. The issue is if you're adamantly pro-life or pro-choice and you're not vegan, you're the hypocrite. You're going against your own logic. Either you are violating someone's autonomy or you're taking away someone's sentience. So if you have an issue with abortion, you should 100% be vegan. If you keep shouting abortion, it just proves to me that you're an idiot because you're not actually thinking about what's happening right now. You're just pushing your own agenda. And I doubt you even understand what abortion means. I doubt you even know what an abortion is. Most people that cry about abortion don't even know what they're talking about. They're reiterating what some bigot said. And it just shows how unintelligent you are because you can't even explain your argument. All you can say is abortion, abortion, abortion. It just shows your low IQ. See, there's another idiot. Oh, there's another one.
Was that Ian timing him out?
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
Some people need to.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're spamming the chat with the same misinformation over and over again, like you're not helping anything. We're probably going to put you away. You can just watch. Well, stop putting the camera on yourself. You won't see a bigot anymore. Okay, if God gave you dominion over the animals, does that mean you can do what you want to them? Should I just kick any animal I want because it's convenient and fun, gives me exercise? Or should I care that that individual can experience, that they want to avoid suffering, just like I do?
So he says, what are you holding?
A TV. This is a TV. This TV is like almost a decade old, by the way. I just want to point this out. And it has been passed down between activists. Multiple groups have used these TVs. So I gotta say, this tech that I'm holding is amazing that it can last that long. I'm saying I could justify eating a baby. If I was out, on an island, right, and I didn't know if I was ever going to get off that island, but I was starving and I had a baby with me, I could make the claim, like, if I die, that baby is going to be left unattended and probably experience some gruesome death, right? But if I unalive the baby while I'm on this island, I could give them an honorable death, right? And then I would be able to survive a little longer. I just justified it. Lab-grown meat, I think it's coming regardless of what anyone thinks of it. Right now, it's still exploiting animals, but it will reduce how many individuals are exploited greatly, and that would be a feat on its own, but really we need to stop seeing animals as products. It's fine to have these alternatives, and it's fine if lab-grown meat didn't come from taking cells from someone that's already alive, but yeah, that's the whole issue. With veganism only cares about the victim. We care about what the individual wants. This is dairy. This is exactly why I went vegan. They're doing artificial insemination right now.
Somebody says, go talk to the natives that hunt. Why are you centering and tokenizing those natives? Why not go talk to the vegan indigenous folks? Why not talk to us? We exist too. Stop invisibilizing all of and trying to erase all of the indigenous folks who live in cities or near cities and don't live in subsistence hunting situations, and they make choices at the grocery store. We are not incapable of making better and ethical decisions to respect non-human kin. We see them as our relatives, and in doing so, in applying that indigenous ethic of seeing animals as relatives, that informs our veganism. There's not a conflict between these ideas. So why do you tell us to go talk to folks, indigenous folks who hunt? Why only zoom in on them? Of course, we don't have qualms with folks who are hunting or trying to survive a challenging circumstance. We're talking about folks who have choices, who are choosing to put animals in a situation that they would never want to be in themselves. We're asking about people who have choice.
Yep. No, exactly. And if you want it, he's native. You just spoke to someone who's native. So, you're really just tokenizing a group of people because you think that it fits your narrative, and that's not right. You're using someone. What's on the TV? So right here, they're unaliving the bobby calves. These are boy calves from the dairy industry.
He's not native in the way that the person was speaking. What way were they speaking? What are the real indigenous people? Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell my indigenous grandmother and my indigenous family. That we're not real ones.
Yeah.
Well, the only real indigenous folks are the ones I can use and tokenize to justify animal oppression. Indigeneity can be viewed through many lenses. My partner and I view our indigeneity through a lens of relating to animals as our beyond human kin, of respecting them as individuals who deserve autonomy, rather than as objects, which white society has converted animals into systematically through its colonial animal agriculture system. So now words don't actually matter. Okay, what words? Explain. Y'all haven't made coherent arguments yet. Somebody says, I lost my own argument. Okay, provide your counter. We're waiting. Somebody says, we're not going to turn this around and make it sound like you are the good people. We're not here saying we are good. We're here as an educational project. We're here to raise the alarm that animals are being used against their consent and that we have other options here in 2026. We're saying, is it fair? Should we continue to do this as humans, or should we choose a more compassionate option? I'm hunched forward a little bit because the camera's a little bit low and I'm a taller person in the group.
You can adjust if you like.
No, I don't mind. They're just asking and I don't.
Yeah, I know, right? I do the same thing though. It's because you're also looking at the comments.
Yeah. How are you going to tell everyone to not eat meat when you do every day? I don't eat animal flesh. I don't consume animals. I see them as my relatives who deserve autonomy and liberation. I don't see them as objects to be used. I don't see their bodies as spaces to be colonized and turned into objects. That makes you native because you have native blood or because you have native culture? No, because I have native culture and native blood. They both go along the same. Indigeneity isn't measured by blood. That's a white construct. That's a colonizer's construct. But yes, both. If you give animals rights, they would eat you. It's nature. So you don't consume pigs or cows because they are threatening you in any way. For instance, when I stopped consuming pigs and cows about 5 years ago, there's never been a situation in my life where I've been under threat by these animals. It's not eat or be eaten. There's no consequence to you when you spare them from being exploited and killed on your behalf. Somebody says, but a pig would eat you. Okay, let's say if there was some pig who would consume another animal. How does that justify you objectifying another animal, exploiting and using them in a situation where you don't need to? What's the relevance of the pig's behavior? Sometimes pigs will lick their asshole. Should you do that? I'm not sure if they can bend like that, but you can get the idea that there might be things pigs do which we're not going to copy necessarily. Somebody says, beyond human kin. Yes, this is another way to think about animals. Rather than saying non-human animal and defining animals in relation to humanity, we're trying to find other terms, other concepts to think about animals. One of those is beyond human. They're not human, beyond it, but not defined in relation to it because they're just beyond humans. And they're our kin, they're our relatives. They share the capacities of desiring freedom, of being sentient, of suffering, of having emotions. They share our desire for freedom. So why would we deprive it from them when we have that option? We're getting ready to wrap up here, but we are in Portland, Oregon. We're across from Powell's Bookstore at the Pod Plaza. To the vegans, put a 1 in the chat. To the non-vegans, put a 2 in the chat. I'm trying to get a sense of who's in here as we wrap things up. And to the non-vegans, put your best justification that you think justifies what happens to other animals in factory farms and slaughterhouses in any form of animal use. Somebody says, oh, Portland, that makes sense. Yes, Portland is very accessible for vegans. There's vegan grocery stores, there's vegan restaurants. You don't need either of those in order to sustainably live and have a plant-only diet. But it does make it a little bit easier to have the vegan restaurants and grocery stores nearby. You can just pick up the plant-only stuff at the grocery store if you don't have access to those. And you live in a more rural, less liberal area. All right.
Oh, yeah, we can swing it.
How do they swing it?
We're doing it all for y'all today. Even moving whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah. All right. Art piece. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is Portland. That's how you know we're in Portland.
Okay. Steve tried to shake it. It's supposed to be an art exhibit that everyone can interact with.
Yeah. We're just too short to push it.
Thank you to all the vegans and the mods. Thank you for being here.
There we go.
And making this conversation more interesting in the chat and responding to some of the non-vegans and the non-vegan arguments.
Pam left.
Yeah.
Pam had to leave, so did Grass-Fed, or Nick. I don't know which name he wants us to shout out on here. But Grass-Fed Human or Nick, they were also here. Pam was here. I did show her on camera for a second, but yeah, she was kind of like our helper behind the scenes. She held the TV for so long. She's amazing. She does. What a great activist. Yep. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Damn, the numbers are high. Thank you guys for liking and sharing. That's you guys. That's you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
We need more people to see this, you know, like hearing the conversations. Wallflowers are just sitting there listening and they're like, oh, you know what? I had the same thought, but that's not logical. So anyway, thank you guys for all being here. Thank you to the mods for keeping the chat safe.
Thank you, mods.
Thank you to the vegans for being there talking to other non-vegans.
Yeah, I see Pia still in here. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Pia, you are a champ. Thank you.
Warriors, yeah.
I think Chase and also David have been in there forever.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you guys, really, because it's really underrated vegans in the chat because there's a lot of people shooting questions so fast. So anyway, we're gonna wrap. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, we are gonna wrap up. I just wanted to shout out. I'm Elvin. This is Rebecca.
Yeah.
This is Enigma.
I'm going by Enigma now.
Yeah.
If you want to find me on Instagram, it's genderless.enigma. And Elvin and I are also working on our own activism space. It's going to be called Total Liberation Now. You'll find us on YouTube and Instagram. On Instagram, it's total.liberation.now. And we'd love to see you there if you're interested in looking at some intersectional and total liberationist views on animal liberation.
And I'm going to have another blog post or two coming out soon. I've just been really overwhelmed with work stuff, but it's at the Uncaged Front. And so, yeah, a couple new blog posts, and I will be I'm thinking of some other things to do. You know, it's always good to be creative, you know.
Yeah, always look for that next thing.
Yeah, but thanks for, everybody tuning in, all the vegans. You're wonderful. Thank you for being vegan and caring about the animals.
Subscribe to Anti-Animal Use if you are interested in seeing this type of content in the future. Vegans, non-vegans, whoever is seeing these conversations, and if you're intrigued, consider subscribing and you'll see us next week.
Or if you know family that would be like interested, you can send it to them too, or maybe they will be mad if they see it. Send it to them too.
Share it around.
Make sure you follow us though, because then you can see our other videos and when we go live. So thank you guys. And with that, I'm gonna put on our little ending bit. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here.